The Patreon is back. The open bet sheets are live. Get into the Patreon to get access to our open bets sheets, the Google sheet that tells you what we're betting, exactly what we're betting. Patreon.com/PerkPlayPursuit. Let's get the show started.
No black cats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen.
Welcome back to the Triple P, the Perfect Parlay Pursuit, the show where we try to predict the perfect parlay for you. This year, year 5, we are doing a little competition. And as you can see, I took a beating at UFC Macau. Triads, who else is it? The Yakuza.
And what's that mean, Dan?
Even the MS-13s, they got me. I got stomped out, gang style. Welcome to Triple P, the Perfect Play Pursuit. It's year 5.
And Bobby's in first place playing the four corners defense. Like we're four corners offense. We're just dishing the ball around, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now all of a sudden we're on top, and you guys look like degenerate gamblers.
Well, I'm a regenerative gambler, and I'm going to regenerate. I'm getting back to basics. I have gone into the woods, the bush, if you will. I've come out of the bush. I was in the bush. My chopper did not come in for me. And as you can see, I got a special hat for my service, but that's all I got for my service. I woke up at 3 a.m. before my enemies, Jocko Willnick style. I was awake, 3 a.m., butts in the seat. I said, this is what I do. I watch UFC fights no matter what time they start. And I had a good start, but when you have the last three picks of the evening dead wrong, it's hard to win money, hard to make it a winning night. I told you guys I wanted to be in and out before the main event started so I could sit back and enjoy it. That is not what happened. I was down. I was faced with a decision. Do I chase losses? Do I do the irresponsible thing? Or do I lay down and die? And I, clawing, kicking, and screaming, fought on, and they dragged me back into the bush. They dragged me back into the bush. They whooped my ass like John McCain. They did their worst, and I'm here with PTSD. I'm still hearing voices. Charlie got me.
The numbers Mason.
One of my own troops, one of my own soldiers, my own fellow brethren, even chucked a hot grenade at me last night.
Pat Tillman, comedy.
It was bad. It was bad. I was screaming. I can still hear the screams of my fallen brothers and the screams of my enemies, and I can hear all of. I can still smell the napalm. And it was bad. It was a bad evening for me. It was a bad morning, I should say. I came out of it in a stuporous haze. But today's Monday, and it's a break week. And we're here to break down another UFC event that takes place not this Saturday night, but 2 Saturday nights the week after. It's going to be UFC Fight Night.
And we'll be together for this, I believe.
It's a pay-per-view. UFC 310.
And we'll be together for this, no?
We'll be together. We're going to be out on the town, Alex and I, for our younger brother's 21st birthday. So I will be out and about, but I will not remember a thing. This is going to be fun. This is going to be, we got a lot of good fights here on this card. We got
Dan, you want to come out with us?
Where are you going?
Well, we're not going to say it on this, dumbass, but
say a region. You could say a whole city.
Your neck of the woods.
Your neck of the woods.
Oh, like my neck of the okay.
Our neck of the woods, yes.
It's baby Ryan's 21st birthday. We're going out on the town. We're going to hit the casino. We're going to watch the fights. We're going to party like it's 1999. And you're invited. You may come.
Well, I'll let the birthday guy decide whether I come or not. I mean, that's a little.
No, he told us invite everybody. He said invite everybody.
Invite everybody.
Yeah.
He said he's trying to make like a Lollapalooza type vibe.
Well, that's a little big-headed of him. I mean, I get it. It's your 21st birthday. Invite everybody. Everybody.
He said invite whoever we want.
Okay.
He said it's Ryan Palooza.
I knew him to be more of a sober and judicious guy. So him saying 21st birthday, invite everybody you know.
Well, it was still our idea, and we were just throwing names out there. I'm like, you care if I invite him? You care if I invite him? He eventually just said, invite whoever you want. So that's what we're doing this weekend. Maybe we'll all get together. That would be good. And I think that's the moral of the story is us three, we need to unite and stick together for the next few weeks. I think we need to win together. We need to celebrate together. We need to be like Maddie Betts and Renato Moicano and
Oh my god,
not Gilbert Burns because he's a little freaking.
I actually did pretty well on the last card in terms of picks, bets as well. The biggest two bets I got incorrect. The bets that I had the money on were the Mongolian screw job, the split decision, and then
on Hernandez Tulambarrel.
Yeah. Dude, those the South Park thing, those goddamn Mongolians. This Mongolian has an axe to grind here. Reverse. But and then on top of that, Figgy. Those are the two biggest misses on my end. One thing I do want to say is that I loved seeing Wang get knocked out after she did the whole like Joker thing that she did at the weigh-ins. The Joker is not cool, edgelords. You are not just a lone wolf who is loyal, but if you cross them, you will become vicious. Shut the fuck up. The Joker is lame, and you're lame, and so is Wang. And I was happy to see her get. I only saw 2 fights on this card, both of which I had the opposite person. But there was a material change after I saw the Joker performance. I did decide I did not like Wang anymore after the Joker thing. So a huge material change. That was the only fight I saw and the Figgy fight. So I had parlays going into the main event and ended up losing because I had Figgy instead of Jan.
Well, I'll tell you what. In terms of the Triple P certified picks, Nicholas Mata, correct. And I should have just bet on Nicholas Mata and stopped there. You know what I mean? Nicholas Mata, Loner Kavanaugh, correct. Soon Young Yu, correct. Looks great. Olberg,
you guys talked me off of Muslim Salikov and made me take Kenan Song.
We did talk you into.
And I Triple P certified Kenan Song. Triple P certified Kenan Song, and he should not have been Triple P certified because I had Muslim Salikov all along.
You did, and he really that. So my night went to shit. Basically, I was looking at $2,700 of profit that I was going to pull in, and it came down, and really it was very far away because it had Kenan Song and Tabitha Ricci on it, so it was never actually going to happen. But one of the two parlays that was going to lead up to $2,700, one was for $1,700, one was for $1,000, included Wong. For whatever fucking reason, and she gets choked out.
But she got knocked around in there first. She was getting rocked all over the place.
But so I'll tell you what you missed, basically, because I was up at 3 a.m. Nicholas Mata, great performance. Long Zhao, great performance. Loner Kavanaugh kind of like drifted off a little bit during that fight. Barely really watched it. I don't know. I think I fell asleep a little bit. Two men in a barrel got robbed. Fang got knocked the fuck out with a head kick after winning the first 2 rounds.
In a barrel. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Was that like a description for how the fight went? Like it was 2 men in a barrel, cat and mouse. They were at each other's neck the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he won. I thought he got robbed. But and then Fang gets knocked the fuck out. Huge favorite going into the fight. Wins the first 2 rounds. Head kick knockout. Mingxi puts her in a fucking coffin. She was out for so long. Gets carried out on a stretcher. It was crazy. Then Sahota gets knocked the fuck out. But and honestly, once you saw Choi walking out, you were like, oh, he's definitely going to win. Like, who cares about the height and the reach? Sahota, I didn't know this. I thought, I don't remember seeing that he was from India, a country that's never produced a UFC champion or even a UFC fighter, right? I mean,
there's a female UFC fighter from India.
And she lost or something. But
yeah,
anyway.
she won.
And the grappler guy, and he's been losing.
Sung Young Yu did great. Ozzy, so then it comes down to, I'm like, okay, if I had a $250 free bet from a deposit match bonus. It was like deposit $500, get $250 free bet on FanDuel. I have this $250 free bet. I go, most bang for my buck. I was thinking about doing Ozzy Diaz. Cody Safdie picked Ozzy Diaz. I was like, I'm picking Ozzy Diaz. He trains at King's MMA. He's fucking tough as hell. Probably he's gonna come in there and knock Zhang out, dude. He came in there looking like fucking 5 pounds of shit in a 3-pound bag, dude. He looked terrible compared to Zhang. Zhang, you were right, Dan. Giga Chad, fucking cut from steel. So my $250 free bet lost. I mean, at that point I was getting kind of tired. I closed my eyes for a second. I open them and I see Zhang celebrating on top of the cage. I'm like, fuck. So then Olberg, I told you I was getting kind of tired during the Zhang fight. I fall asleep entirely for the Olberg fight. It was very boring.
Apparently, Olberg did not look good against Volkanovski.
He did not. It was very shitty. I fell asleep. It was so boring. Kong Wang, I see that fight, and then I see the rest of them. And I will say this. The biggest disappointment for me was Tabitha Ricci. Tabitha Ricci, she fought like Frankie Edgar in there, not in a good way. I mean, all she was doing is this. Didn't throw a single fucking punch in the first round. Didn't throw a single punch in the first round. Can't get the takedowns. And she looks great backstage. Backstage, she's like doing high kicks, doing fucking jumping jacks. She's like all energetic. Meanwhile, Jan is just like really nervous looking, but she conserved her energy and she fucking took it all out in the fight and did really, really well. It was never competitive for Tabitha Ricci. Peter Yan, again, looked bad for maybe 2 fucking minutes in that fight. The first 2, he got taken down.
I was so excited. I was so excited. I was about to win $500.
He won every single round. He did so great. And honestly, I told you guys over our private text, I was like, yo, I'm switching my picks. I watched this highlight reel of Peter Yan. I'm like, he's such a fucking beast. He's going to beat the shit out of Figueiredo. But then I was down so much money that I was like, I'm just going to bet on Figueiredo. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I can't. I mean, I was wrong about Song. I was wrong about Ricci. And I thought,
so you mushed me. Is that what you're saying? You mushed me chasing losses?
I thought about, I was like, okay, so the only underdogs that have won were Nicholas Mota, Ming Shi, and the other girl. What's her name? The other girl.
Not
Gabby Fernandez. Gabby Fernandez. Yes. So I'm like, okay, there's been 3 underdogs out of 13 fights. I was like, one of these main card underdogs has to come through. Like, Song loses, Ricci loses. I'm like, okay, Figgy's gonna fucking win. Figgy's gonna fucking win here. I start thinking about Jan and his MCL, LCL, NCL, all those fucking knee injuries he's had. I'm like, he's going to get found flat. Figgy's going to take him down. He's going to lose a close decision. Fuck it. I'm betting on Figgy to win it all back. And I did not win it all back. I lost even more. It was terrible. So moral of the story is I was up, $2,700 3 weeks ago. Now I'm down $730. So you guys, I mean, like I was hot.
It's a $3,000 swing.
The Driscus Duplessis, Izzy Adesanya card. I mean, the infamous Roman Doladeze versus Kevin Holland and the Wonder Boy versus Buckley. I mean, I was killing it. I was winning thousands of dollars a weekend. I was on a hot streak like never before. Alex even said on this show, he's like, Luke is on an unprecedented hot streak. Even with NFL, even with college football, even with MLB, I'm killing it on all fronts. And I burn out like a star, and now I'm ice fucking cold. Not only did I lose on UFC, but I threw like, $50 in to try to win some money back and slow the bleeding on college football. Fucking didn't win there either.
Please tell me you did not bet on. Okay, cool.
I bet on Kansas, yeah.
Well, that makes me feel a little better because if
I bet against Boulder and I bet against Rutgers, so I was betting against all the teams that I normally would have been like, this is a pick I should. But anyway, I did really well on a lot of. I mean, I hit like 6 out of 7 on a college football parlay. Only lost because of Washington State not covering the spread. That would have won me back like $711. Then on the NFL, I would have won $950 if not for the fucking Arizona Cardinals, man. The Arizona Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals. But also, I had another parlay without the Cardinals, and this one was the fucking Texans, dude. The Texans lose to my Tennessee Titans, who I love. And did you see that game?
Yeah.
The fucking kicker from the Texans misses a field goal to make it tied. It was like 27-24. Misses the field goal at the 10-yard line, Dan. It was a 10-yard field
goal. And Fairbairn is like one of the better kickers in the league, according to popular belief.
Dude, it was crazy. It was
not as bad as the commies game where miraculous come from behind touchdown. All you got to do is kick the extra point to tie it. He misses that.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think that these kickers need to be investigated, man. They're blowing more kicks when it matters in the fourth quarter, when it's a meaningful to tie the game or to win the game type kick, they are fucking blowing it, dude.
Bill Parcells notoriously lobbied all the time to get rid of kickers from the entire NFL. And all the kickers on his teams, he would like haze. I mean, not legally speaking haze, but like he'd be really shitty to them and just like fucking hate kickers, like has no part in football. And like all these games, they come down to a position that's, again, has nothing to do with the actual game itself. It's crazy.
It is crazy, dude. It is really crazy.
I saw our grandfather yesterday, Luke, and first thing he says to me when I walk in the door, "You watch any college football yesterday?" And I said, "Why do you got to bring up old shit? What are we doing here?" He tells me he hates Colorado. He hates Deion Sanders. I said, "That's your narrative, B. We went from 1 win in one season to then 4 wins and now 8 wins. So I look at that as success,
And Travis Hunter's maybe going to win the MVP.
Yeah, the Heisman Trophy. Yeah.
Yeah, Heisman Trophy. So,
look, that's an important one. You can't say MVP.
I know it's called that. I just was caught off guard for a second. But, yeah, it's funny.
Shedeur
right?
Sanders is going to be a top 5 pick. Travis Hunter is going to be a top 5 pick.
He's pushing refs. He's gonna lose like millions of dollars.
My father-in-law also hates Deion Sanders, and he's our grandfather's age, and he loves Kansas and is like from Kansas, and he bet on Colorado. So he probably hates him even more. He probably hates me even more now.
Damn,
so.
That's a shame.
So anyway, that was the card. Let's get into the card 2 weeks from now. These are the early predictions, everybody. Listen, a lot of you are going to be joining the show for the first time this week. Everybody on this panel has predicted a perfect parlay, has bet a perfect parlay, has hit and won a perfect parlay. Everybody on this panel is a fantastic gambler. It might look bad right now. It might look like we're down money right now. But I was up 170 units just 2 weeks ago. And the only reason
did anybody see how the Bantamweight King did last weekend?
I'm a greedy pig who puts his fucking balls on the line. And because I don't give a fuck about money, I care about winning big money and winning specifically and just going hard. And, I know that maybe that doesn't make sense to you right now. But at the end of the day, I believe in myself. And I told myself, I said, Luke, all right, so I just got married. I'm saving up to buy a house. And I hit a couple big bonuses at work. I had a lot of walking around money, you know what I mean? And I let the extra money that I wasn't that wasn't built into my budget kind of go the route of like letting me take bigger swings, thinking I was going to like even, keep my winning ways. And I irresponsibly lost money that my family needs. Okay. That's a fact. But I learned a lesson and I got a little too high. I got a little too close to the sun. And what I'm going to do now is pay it forward, pay it back to the Lord, to the gambling gods. I'm going to say, hey, noted, point well taken. Rather than betting a shitload of money, I'm going to get back to what we started the show on, which is lunch money to rent money. And I'm going to, for the rest of the year, for the rest of this calendar year, until we're deep into January, until I got some birthday money and some more bonus money, I am going to only bet very little amounts of money on huge long shot parlays and try to turn lunch money to rent money. So if you want to bet $10, $20, $30 on a Saturday night and try to win $2,000, $3,000, $1,700, that's what I'm hunting for the next 4 to 8 weeks. And just like the ship was swinging all the way in one direction, it swung back, but it's going to swing back this way. And you want to be a part of it. And if you're a buy low, sell high kind of guy, buy my stock now, buy the dip, buy the blood, get in on my comeback story right here, right now, because it is only going to go back up from here. And I think that you should be a part of it. So to be a part of it, it's pretty simple. The Patreon, it's a pittance. It's no money at all. It's like due to inflation, it's like literally like costing me money to even run the Patreon, but it's $10 a month. You get into the Patreon. It's $100 for the year. You get a discount if you go for the full year. Throw the $100 down for the year. You get access to our Patreon. In the Patreon, we post this video. We post our picks listed out nice and neatly. And we have a link to what is a Google Sheet, an open bets sheet, where you will see all of our picks listed out, all the picks we gave on the show, the Triple P certified picks. But you will also see 3 tabs: my tab, Alex's tab, and Dan's tab. And those are the bets that we actually placed this weekend. So I am very anal about my open bet sheet. I put every bet that I make in there, even live during the fights. I have my laptop up. If I'm making a hedge play, if I say, okay, this parlay is going to win 2,000, if this leg hits, I'm betting 500 on the other side so that I make some money no matter what. I put it in the open bet sheet if I can, if I'm not out on the town. Even when I am out on the town, I sometimes update it. So what I will do for you is I will promise to keep my open bet sheet spick and span, clean as a whistle. It's going to look great. It's going to give you the bets that I'm making. If you want to be a part of my comeback journey, if you want to win alongside me, that's where you get it. You get it in the Patreon. And we need the money. Obviously, look at us. Look at us. Look at Dan. Look at me. We need the money. So I would like to see people get back into the Patreon. And if you were a Patreon member and you're like, Luke, you stopped posting in there for a few weeks, that's because Patreon locked my account. Okay, Patreon locked my account. I had to verify them with my ID. I thought it was going to be a much more involved process than it was. It took 5 minutes. Okay, I will admit that. It took 5 fucking minutes. It took less than 5 minutes, honestly. And it was back online instantly. I thought it was going to be like making a cryptocurrency account where you have to fucking send in the picture of your ID and it's going to take a week. And I just put it off and I put it off and I put it off and I put it off. I didn't have my laptop and my fucking wallet in the same room. I was busy, but I verified my identity with Patreon. It's back up. It's running. And I was also debating on whether or not we're going to go with Patreon or we're going to go YouTube memberships. But either way, we got the Patreon back. It's $100 for the year. Please get in there, become a yearly member, and work with me, talk with me. Tell me what you're looking for. Tell me what you want. We're going to provide value in that Patreon. It starts with the open bet sheet. But I'm thinking that I'm going to start doing some PFL predictions. Throw them in the Patreon. Do some episodes. Do some bonus content episodes. That's to come. But for right now, we're just getting our legs back under us with the Patreon. $100 for the year gets you access to our open bet sheet with the picks, the bets we're actually making. And you're going to want to be a part of this comeback journey. So I'll say no more about that. Anything else you boys want to say?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay. Last week's episode was a great episode, by the way. We recapped UFC 309, and I exposed a lot of people. I exposed Bo Nickel. I exposed Michael Chandler. I exposed my hero, Chael Sonnen. Get in there to see a big-time expose. It's worth a watch, even though that event's already over and UFC Macau has already passed. Give the first 20 minutes of last week's episode a watch if you want some deep TMZ style exposés. But coming up on December the 7th, we got Alexandre Pantoja versus Asakura. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Garry. We got Ciryl Gane versus Alexander Volkov. We got Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. We got Nate Landwehr versus Duho Choi. Anthony Smith versus Dominick Reyes. Vincente Luque versus Thema Gorimbo. I'm just going to stop when I hit a fight I don't want to see, right? And I want to see all Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. Randy Brown versus Bryan battle. Chris Weidman versus our boy, ya boy, who's been on this show, Eryk Anders. Cody Durdan versus Joshua Van. Michael CHIESA versus Max Griffin. Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper. And Kennedy and Chukwi versus Lucas Bresky. Every single fucking one of these fights is fire. There is not a single lady fight on the card. These are going to be all fucking balls, all gas, no breaks. I love every one of these fights. So off a break week, this is going to be the card that fucking makes you just so excited to watch it. I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is going to be fantastic. Fights that were scheduled and are not happening: Nick Diaz versus Vincente Luque. Bilal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Tatiana Suarez versus Verna Jandiroba. A lady fight I wouldn't even mind watching. We love Tatiana Suarez. We love Verna Jandiroba. Rizvan Kunaev versus Martin Buday. And yeah, so the guys that had opponents pull out, Lucas Bresky had an opponent pull out. He was supposed to fight newcomer Taliesin Teixeira. Vincente Luque was supposed to fight Nate Diaz. Shavkat Rakhmonov was supposed to fight Bilal Muhammad. So Rakhmonov, Bresky, and Luque all were scheduled for this card, which is at altitude. That's important to know. It's at altitude. So their opponents taking it on short notice at altitude is going to be meaningful here. But let's break it all the way down, starting with the first fight of the night: Kennedy and Chukwi versus Lucas Bresky. Lucas Bresky coming off a loss to Mick Parkin. He got knocked out 3 months ago by undefeated Big Parkin. Before that, he actually defeated Walter Volker, Johnny Walker's brother. Before that, he gets knocked out by Walter Cortez Acosta. Before that, he loses a decision to Carl Williams. Before that, he loses a decision to Martin Buday. Lucas Brzeski is a heavyweight. He is only, I believe, his UFC record. It's 1-4. I just read his whole UFC record for you. Before that, he was a Contender Series guy. That fight. Sorry, I'm getting these fucking ads on Tapology. It was overturned to a no contest. Brzeski won that fight. He tested positive for clomiphene. He won it by rear naked choke in round 3, and it was overturned to a no contest. He still found his way into the UFC. His very next fight, taking on Martin Buday, a fight that was not even a short notice fight. Just got added to the card for whatever reason. They let him in the UFC after testing positive. Don't know what the story was there. But he's taking on the African Savage, Kennedy Nzechukwu, who's coming off that KO win 4 weeks ago over Chris Barnett. Before that, split decision loss in a snooze fest to OSP, of all people, of Vincente Prue. Before that, he got knocked out by Dustin Jacoby.
Dustin Jacoby.
And before that, he submitted Devin Clark and knocked out Iwan Kutulaba. He's going to have an 83-inch reach, 5 inches more than Lucas Brzeski. He's going to stand an inch taller. They both weigh about the same. His last weigh-in was 241. Brzeski was 235. They're the same age. It's Nigeria versus Poland. He's 7-5 in the UFC, taking on a 1-4 guy in the UFC. A lot more UFC experience. He came off the Contender Series. He was 6-0. He lost his debut off the Contender Series to Paul Craig, 3rd round triangle choke. Paul Craig won to do that. But he has a win over Carlos Ulberg. Like I said, dropped a knockout loss to Dawu in June and to split decision to Nikolai Negamirianu. He's a bit up and down, right? It's kind of hard to get a beat on Kennedy Nzechukwu. But you might think, is a knockout win in round 1 against Chris Barnett, a guy who kind of hurt himself in the fight right off the bat and also is very unathletic. Is that fight 4 weeks ago really an indicator of this guy's long-term success when he just dropped a split decision before that to Vincente Prue, when he just got knocked out the fight before that? Before that, he beats Devin Clark. Anthony Smith fucking beat Devin Clark. Before that, he beats Iwan Kutulaba, who has 8 losses himself. Beats Carl Robertson, who has 5 losses himself. Loses to Nikolai.
Wait, Luke, Iwan Kutulaba is one of your favorite fighters.
He is, but not because he wins fights for me. Anyway, I think this is a really tough one to call. I don't see odds out for this yet. I'm going to take a look on some of my sports betting apps while you guys break this one down. Alex, you got notes. What's your notes on this?
Yeah, I'm taking Nzechukwu. I could definitely see Brzeski slowing this fight down, holding him up against the cage, but it's never been enough for him in the past when he's been on the big stage. So I don't think he's going to be able to get it done against Nzechukwu. I think Nzechukwu is going to be a little faster, durable in there. And he's not going to get held up against the cage as much as he used to. Certainly not. I believe in Nzechukwu. Give me Kennedy Nzechukwu by finish.
I'm seeing on bestfightodds.com, DraftKings has this fight lined right now. He was on FanDuel. He was a plus.
Oh my gosh, Luke, your background was fucking up and you looked like Chael for a second. There was like black spots all over your mouth because of your background getting on your face.
That's hilarious.
You almost got caught up in an expose yourself.
Shit. Well, listen, Brzeski was a plus 280 underdog against Talston Teixeira, a UFC newcomer, was minus 390 against Brzeski. So we might need to look into this Talston Teixeira guy. But, I don't know. DraftKings has this fight at minus 440 for Nzechukwu. That's a fight I want nothing to do with. You won't catch me betting on this fight. At this line, with the recent performances of Nchukwi and the big unknown factor here, I kind of my instinct tells me Hungry Dog runs fast, and although Bresky has lost, he's fought good guys. Cortez Acosta 9-1, Mick Parkin 9-0.
This is the problem with having our money up here is because
his combined UFC
we're giving
opponents have a
bad
record.
picks. Like that's a bad pick, Luke.
Well, let me just say this: his combined Bresky's combined UFC opponents, right, have a record of 20, 37, 46. Bresky's 5 UFC opponents have a record of 46-3. That's fucking insane. So yeah, he's lost, right? Kennedy Nchukwi has 5 losses. Okay, his UFC opponents have a combined 8 losses, 7 losses, 7 losses, 17 losses, 8 losses. Okay, and he went 3-2 on those opponents. So you're telling me that a guy with 25, 32, 40, 39, 47. So one guy has his opponents have a record of 46-3. Kennedy Nchukwi's opponents have 46 losses.
Yeah, but Luke, you're talking about Carl Williams and Waldo Costa, okay? And these guys
Well, and they have that Carl
have felt
Williams.
some losses since those fights against Lucas and Martin Badai, buddy. All these guys have the same exact record as Lucas Bresky in the UFC, except Lucas Bresky is their only win, and every other guy they've fought, they've lost.
Well, no, I mean those are their current records.
No, that's what their record went to when that fight happened.
Not true. Walter
Yes,
Walker's
it is.
11-0. Oh wait, I get what you're saying. You're actually right about that, because how could he have a win against Walter Walker, who's 11-0?
But I am wrong, because Waldo Acosta, Salsa Boy, is not the guy who I thought he was.
Wait a minute. How the fuck does it does say Walter Walker has a fucking record of
It's
12-1.
the record that he moved
Yeah.
to when
That's so
that
stupid
fight
that
happened.
they don't. I get showing it like that on their page, but when you show it on the main page, that's very confusing. Okay, yeah. So
I think Carl Williams got cut.
well, at the time of the fight when he had with them, that was the records. And guess what? Kennedy Nchukwi's opponents have more losses too since he fought them, right? So I mean, it kind of comes out in the wash either way. But I'm going with Lucas Bresky, official pick.
Damn.
That Walter Walker
I'm not
win was
coming anywhere
bullshit.
near Bresky, Luca Brosny. Kennedy Nchukwi was going to style on him. I don't care what the records are. Just looking at it, like the guy that's going to beat Nchukwi is a guy that has power and can like put the pressure on him. Neither of which is Bresky. He has no power. He gasses out super early. He almost lost to Walter, whatever his name is, who we all know is terrible since that fight.
He got 10-8'd in the first round against Walter Walker.
Yeah, I mean this guy is not good. I'm not saying that Nchukwi's future champ world beater, but he has his holes, but they're not going to be exposed by God bless you by Luca Bresky. All in on Kennedy, as far as I'm concerned.
Fair enough. I'm just saying I'm not betting on this fight, but it's a dog or pass situation for me, and I will not be trophy certifying minus 440 Kennedy Nchukwi. Okay, Clay Guida versus Chase Hooper, 38-24. Clay Guida, 14-3. Chase Hooper.
I want first dibs.
Go ahead.
This fight is going to be exactly like BJ Penn versus Ryan Hall, except it's going to be worse and it's going to be more sad. Chase Hooper is going to tear Clay Guida's knee apart. He's going to be doing some jiu-jitsu Clay Guida's never seen before. Chase Hooper is like 3 feet taller than Clay Guida in my mind. This is not going to go well at all for Clay Guida. What's he going to do? Sit there and bang with Chase Hooper? Who does he think he is? Slippery Steve Peterson? No, not a 40-year-old Clay Guida. Get the heck out of here. Chase Hooper is going to submit him, and I think it's going to go like the exact same way as BJ Penn versus Ryan Hall.
Let me just double up on that and see if Luque breaks the difference. Also going to side with you here. I think Clay Guida's joints and limbs, I think, are calcified at this point. And Hooper's just going to snap him like a pencil. He's gonna absolutely wreck him. Yeah, Hooper by sub at minus 750 on the money line is crazy.
Here's what I like. I'll say what I like about.
Wait, what's the line? Only minus 175?
No.
770. Chase Hooper.
Oh. First round submission.
The best price tag you're gonna get on Chase Hooper is
first round sub
minus 649 on Betway, if you even have that app. And I'm seeing on Best Buy.
Luke,
DraftKings has them at minus. Do
you see your camera right now? You're getting a Hitler mustache.
I didn't want to say it.
This isn't looking good. This isn't looking good for you.
Well, anyway,
there have been multiple times where you have a Hitler mustache and a chilled sun and chaw in your teeth. It's going all over your face.
I smell a good thumbnail.
Yeah. What I like about Clay Guida in this fight is that his cardio is one of his biggest strengths, and he's in Salt Lake City, Utah at altitude. So, in theory, if you wanted to make a case for Clay Guida, you could say, well, Clay Guida is going to push the pace.
We need to put our betting percentage back on like our name tags, because if this was the case, we would not be making these dumbass picks like Lucas Bresky
What do you mean?
And Clay Guida.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying we're more inclined to pick underdogs when we don't have our percentage sitting here. We have the money that we're going to bet. So it's like, yeah, I can bet $1 on Clay Guida. The odds
I'm not going to bet on Lucas Bresky or Clay Guida. I'm just, for the sake of our audience, I'm just saying, like, okay, for the sake of entertainment, let's talk about how could Clay Guida win this? Well, cardio. It's at altitude. That's how he could win in theory. He's not going to. Chase Hooper is going to submit him. Chase Hooper by submission, maybe even a fucking knockout, because Clay Guida has been getting dropped and rocked in a lot of these fights. Joaquin Silva almost finished him in the first round. So by knockout, he threw about a 50 unanswered head strikes to Clay Guida. So I'm definitely going with Chase Hooper. I like for Clay Guida that the fight is at altitude, that he trains at elevation right now, and that, but I'm going with
TKO or sub. If you were to pick Clay Guida, club and sub or TKO?
Decision.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, but 95% Tapology, and obviously minus 770 on the money line. Chase Hooper is everybody's pick. You're going to have to take him by submission, but I don't even know if he gets it. Chase Hooper is one of those learning experience kind of guys. He's one of those guys who goes out there for himself. He's not trying to cover a spread. He's just trying to fucking learn and have life experiences. He's a millennial. He's a Zoomer. He's a Gen Alpha.
He's trying to learn like Mackenzie Dern out there. All they're trying to do is learn like Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah. He's a fucking dork. And there was a point in time where I would easily have slept him in the UFC octagon. That day has come and gone. I've gotten worse. He's gotten better. I'll say that. Chase Hooper would be the fuck out of there. There was a period of time in Chase Hooper's career where you could have put me in there off the couch and I would have fucking slept Chase Hooper at 155. That being said,
that's big of you. That's really big of you to say. That's really big.
That day is not today. If you put me in there this weekend, I would get fucked up bad by Chase Hooper. But
that's huge.
If you give me a full year, I could beat him. I could beat him to train. But I am in the worst shape of my life right now, and he is in the best shape I've ever seen him, and he would beat me for sure.
Father of two.
All right, so I'm taking Chase Hooper. She'll be certified Chase Hooper. Next, we got Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin.
Weak ass matchup. Weak ass fight.
Dude fed desk job Mike Chiesa, fucking douche of the year, most unlikable guy in the UFC, biggest ass kissing, fucking brown nosing,
boot
little
licking,
fucking company man. Go back to Alaska. Fucking go back to Alaska when they have 30 days of night, and I hope a vampire bites your neck.
That or Terrence McKinney with his fucked up teeth.
Yeah, Terrence the fucking vampire piranha McKinney. I hate Michael Chiesa. I hate Terrence McKinney. Half a mind to believe. I mean, Michael Chiesa coming out there to Ted Nugent Stranglehold, Randy Couture's walkout song. Michael Chiesa coming out to stranglehold only to tap to everybody and their fucking mom. Michael Chiesa, king of the quit job, king of the I'm scared to death of Kevin Holland. I'm scared to death of fucking everybody. Let me just tap out to them. And then he goes out there and fucking gives Tony Ferguson a fucking, easy noogie. Doesn't even fucking bludgeon him half to death like he should have. So
while
anyway,
he's on death's door trying to make 170, and Tony Ferguson's like stepping up to 170.
Yeah, Michael Chiesa, biggest scale crybaby. Oh, sorry, Mike. You're 6'1" trying to fight at 155, and we're supposed to feel bad for you that you can't make the weight and are killing yourself. Yeah, Mike, when your grandkids get old enough, maybe you can tell them, oh, your granddad had a real interesting technique. Yeah, kids, I used to suck all the weight out of my body and starve myself so at 6'1" I could have an advantage over smaller men. Coward, weight bully, pussy. I hate Michael Chiesa. I hope he loses.
I wish this was Chiesa versus Kevin Lee too.
I wish it was Chiesa versus Kevin Lee too. But yeah, I mean, he lost a split decision to Neil Magny. He lost to Michael Morales. I wish Michael Morales. You know who I'd like to see Michael Chiesa fight? Carlos Pratis. Can we get Michael Chiesa versus Carlos Pratis, please? So that would be great. But no, instead we get
Neil Magny. Yeah, you want to give him an old man? Give him Neil Magny. Neil Magny.
Oh no, sorry, Max Griffin lost to Neil Magny. Michael Chiesa beat Neil Magny 3 years and 10 months ago. But that's the other thing, right?
Michael Chiesa would never beat Neil Magny. That's bullshit, fake news. That never happened.
It happened 3 years and 10 months ago. He beat Neil Magny by decision. And then he went on a 3-fight losing streak, getting darsed by Luque, getting darsed by Kevin Holland. Michael Darce. Then so it's like, okay, Michael Chiesa, you're a weight bully. You're 37 years old. You have 5 fights in 4 years. You don't fight often. You have a desk job. Nobody likes your commentary. Your tattoos are stupid. Need I go on? Shave that beard. I'll bet there's a little tiny baby ass nothing chin there.
There is, and his haircut sucks.
Yes, haircut sucks. For
uglier than all sin.
If your ears are that ugly, you should be at least able to defend yourself in the UFC octagon. I mean, Kevin Holland darsed you up. What do you think Khamzat does to fucking Michael Chiesa? Khamzat would fucking squeeze his head so hard his eyes would pop out of his fucking head.
You know what Kevin Gaethje says? He says, if Kevin Holland can hold you down, it only takes half man to,
Well, you know what Kevin Holland said? He said, Chiesa's a pussy. He said he finds ways out of fights because he gets scared. He can't strike worth a damn. So, I mean, listen, Max Griffin, if you can beat Jeremiah Wells, who I believe trains with like Sean Brady and all them, by a split decision, if you can not get finished by Michael Morales, if you can, I
think he beat Wells on like 5 days notice though. And Wells had fought like the weekend before as Wells, no pun intended.
I mean, I want to make a case here. I want to make a fucking case for Max Griffin. And if I can put him in my parlays at minus 155 odds, like I want to make a case for myself to pick him. The only problem is he's 39 years old. You know what I mean? He does not have good jiu-jitsu. I can see Michael Chiesa getting this fight to the ground with his wrestling and choking out Max Griffin. I really can. It's not because Michael Chiesa is a good fighter. It's because he's a desk jockey and they give him favorable matchups. And I think Michael Chiesa is going to win. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to pick Michael Chiesa.
Thank God, dude. I was about to say, you making a case for all of the wrong picks in the first 3 fights is terrible. Like I was Chiesa, about to. Dude. I know it is Chiesa. But it's a weak-ass matchup, lame-ass matchup, means nothing matchup, does nothing matchup.
And how about this? How do you go? Alex. How do you go from Tony Ferguson to Max Griffin, 3rd fight of the fucking night on a prelim card? That's how shitty Michael Chiesa is as a guy. That's how much of a dud, who cares, nobody Michael Chiesa is. Because if you fight Tony Ferguson and beat him and finish him like Michael Chandler did, like Nate Diaz did, like all these other people did. I mean, who else?
You might as well make him fight Aljamain. You might as well pull Aljamain off the desk. 13-6, Aljamain getting celebrated.
Fucks him up, dude. Let's see. Okay, so
where was Stipe's highlight reel? By the way, where was his Michelle Waterson send off? Where was Stipe's Michelle Waterson send off? It was very public. Stipe was retiring regardless.
No, that's not true.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah, it was. It was very public. Stipe said, "I'm retiring regardless of what happens."
When Charles Oliveira beat Tony Ferguson, he got a title shot. When Beneil Dariush beat Tony Ferguson, he got Mateus Gamrot in a title eliminator, who was 21-1 at the time. When Michael Chandler beat Tony Ferguson, he got a fucking fight against Dustin Poirier, who had beaten Conor McGregor. A main
Michael Chandler, my donkey of the year, by the way.
Co-main event. When Nate Diaz beat Tony Ferguson, he got Jake Paul in the biggest fight in the universe. When Bobby Green beat Tony Ferguson, he got Grant Dawson in a main event. When Paddy the Baddy beat Tony Ferguson, okay, he got Bobby Green in a co-main event. Or a third fight from the top. But when Michael Chiesa beats Tony Ferguson, they give him Max Griffin, the third fight from the fucking first fight of the night, jerking the curtain to a bunch of Mormons who won't even be drunk and won't even be they're not even drinking in the parking lot, and they still won't be there to watch Michael Chiesa fight in Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay? It will be an empty arena. They will
and
still
it's like the fact that it's the third, Luke, and the fact that this fight is over Guida versus Hooper is absolutely insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, this fight should be...
There's still a lot of time. They might reshuffle.
This fight should be jerking the absolute beginning of the card. This is the worst card, or this is the worst fight on the entire card. Worst matchup, weak-ass fight, weak-ass matchup, means nothing to no one. No one cares about it. Michael Chiesa, hey... hang out with Eryk Anders, eat some dinner with him this week. Okay, let's see if you even make the walk. And we'll get Chris Weidman versus Max Payne.
Yeah. Fuck them both. Max Griffin, you better win, but I'm not gonna pick you. Yeah.
Damn.
Too meek. Max Griffin, too meek.
Too meek. Going with Chiesa here. I'm not crazy confident about it. Because, Griffin does have a little bit of a wrestling background, but, I think the greatest showman pulls it off one more time, cuts down that water weight, bodies him up, tires him out, maybe gets a sub in there, but at the very least gets a lot of top control and ultimately gets the win. And I'm not happy about it either, but got to call him as we see him.
I would call him the Machinist because he does suck himself down to a frail figure, but he never bulks up like Christian Bale ever did in Batman.
The Machinist. But that's how I know you never saw the movie, because it's called The Machinist because he's the machinist in the movie.
Did you
ever see the movie?
It's what do you call somebody who works on machines, Luke?
A machinist. It's called The Machinist.
A mechanic, Luke? A mechanic?
The Machinist. Okay, it's The Machinist. The Machinist is Conor McGregor's fucking YouTube channel. The Machinist. So wait, all right. Here's my hot take. If Max Griffin can show the fuck up at the weigh-ins and push Michael Chiesa halfway across the stage and show up at the press conference and call him a bitch, he will win the fight. But he won't do that. He will not do that. He will instead be like smiling, and they'll be hugging, and they'll be like, "Much respect, brother." It's
respect, brother Hart. And I think that's the exact problem that Eryk Anders is gonna have as well. If I'm not
same to Eryk Anders. If Eryk Anders can go up there, but I don't know, because Weidman's already pissed at him. You know what I mean, for making him not get to fight at Madison Square Garden. So I don't even think it's gonna matter. I think if he pisses Weidman off more, I think that's gonna be actually worse for Eryk Anders. Now at MSG, he could have gotten the pressure up on Weidman, but now
Weidman never won at MSG. He had never won at MSG. Weidman.
I don't know. Yeah, but
Weidman had never won a fight at MSG.
That's what I'm saying.
He's like Michael Chandler.
If he could have turned the pressure up more and gotten Weidman emotional, then it would have won. But now that it's at Salt Lake and Weidman's already pissed off, and it's at 195 now. It's not even at 185. It's at 195 catch weight now.
What?
Yeah, bet you didn't know that.
Not.
All right, all right, boys. I'm gonna run up and refresh my beverage real quick and take a urine, but I want you to. We're trophy certifying Michael Chiesa.
Oh,
somebody get this video of Michael Chiesa.
I'll get first dibs on this next one, Dan, if you don't mind.
Take it slow.
I've got a hot one. Call me what's that guy? You know, the guy.
Sean
He
Evans.
says the wings. He says we have the wings. We eat the wings. We final dab. Sean Evans or Chris Evans or
Something like that.
Shawn Michael Scott. Anywho, Cody Durdan versus Josh Van. Get in the van. I'm going with Josh Van on this one. And call me crazy, call me what you want, but don't call me on my phone late at night when I'm trying to get some rest. Shut eye. This guy, Cody Durdan, is going to do the same exact thing he did against Bruno Silva. He's going to be mixing it up well, doing really good, and then he's just going to find himself in an idiotic position where he gets hit really hard by a guy who hits a lot harder than him. He's going to look really good the first 2 rounds. I highly recommend, taking Durdan before the fight starts. When round 3 starts, I'm sure Van will be like a plus 600 underdog, then take him. Or at the start of round 2, because I think Van's going to end up knocking him out. Both of these dudes fight at a similar pace with a different style. But Cody Durdan gets sucked into slugfest sometimes. And Josh Van is not the guy you want to have that done against. These guys both had the same exact fight in like, not their last fight, but the fight before that. I believe Josh Van was fighting Charles Johnson, and Charles Johnson was getting styled on by Josh Van. And then Josh Van gets knocked out in the 3rd round. Cody Durdan was styling on Bruno Silva 2 fights ago, then gets knocked out in the 3rd round. They both came back and I think won a fight in between then. But I just think that old habits die hard, and Cody Durdan is going to fall right into the same trap that he fell right into when he fought Bruno Silva, and think that he's doing well against a slow starter and Josh Van and trick himself into getting knocked out.
I think these are all valid. Oh, sorry, I didn't see it there.
Go ahead, Dan. But you already went, so that's why I was.
No, it's all good. I think those are valid points. I'm a little more on the Durdan side, though. I think that he's going to learn from that previous knockout loss. And, he's a pretty good striker as it is, but I think he's going to rely more on the wrestling with Van not having that grappling background that he does. Van is pretty new to MMA in general. He's super skilled, but, grappling is always the last thing for like the new guys to actually pick up on and excel at, if ever. So I think Durdan's going to take advantage of that. I think he's going to take his back, and I think he's going to get this sub. He's also super tough. So, like, if he's losing the first round and a half, he's getting pieced up. I'm not one to give up on him. He's a junkyard dog, and, he finds his way into sticky situations for his opponent. So I like Durdan here.
Dan, quick question. What if I told you Cody Durdan's fight IQ is literally half of Brendan Allen's?
Of Brendan Allen's, I would say you're a liar.
Yeah,
no.
I think you're disrespectful to Cody Durdan.
I think you guys are crazy. I think Brendan Allen is a smarter fighter than Cody Durdan.
Okay, Cody Durdan against Tagir Ulanbekov, he was caught. Yeah, he got submitted, but he was caught in like 8 chokes by Tagir before he finally got one. He escaped so many of them. And Tagir was putting his toes in the cage, fucking doing all sorts of trickery and bullshit. So I forgive that one. The fight against Bruno Silva, damn, Cody Durdan looked fucking sharp, dude. His eyes were looking great. He was seeing everything a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
He was in and out. He looked fucking amazing in that fight. I am going with Cody Durdan.
Like Brendan Allen versus a one Chris Curtis, or a Brendan Allen versus a one Sean Strickland. He looked really fucking good for every second he was winning the fight, but then he got clean, cold cocked, finished easily.
So Cody Durdan has a submission loss in the amateurs. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 submission losses in the pros, and 1 decision and 1 knockout loss. And that knockout loss was an uppercut, that came out of nowhere that caught him when he didn't see it coming. It wasn't like he got hit with nothing and fucking just went out easy. And like I said, when he fought Matt Schnell, he's the type of guy who does not have self-preservation instincts and does not give a fuck. And getting knocked out is not going to make him succumb to getting knocked out again more easily. He's still relatively young. He's 33, but he
that's the problem, Luke. He's not going to have the self-preservation to take Josh Van down. And that is why Josh Van is going to knock him the fuck out.
Listen, they have a common opponent in Charles Johnson. Cody beat Charles Johnson by decision. He beat Jake Hadley after that. Joshua Van was winning rounds 1 and rounds 2 against Johnson. Got knocked the fuck out in round 3 with an uppercut.
It was the same exact thing as the Bruno Silva fight.
He fought Felipe Burns, Kevin Bjorgas, Zalga Zumagulov. Like, he has not faced the level of competition Cody has.
Whoa.
And I think while Joshua Van is an undeniable talent, I don't think he has the pedigree or the depth and breadth of skills that Cody Durdan has when it comes to the wrestling, the cardio, and the heartiness. So I think that Josh Van, chin too small, head too small, neck too small, no wrestling. I'm taking Cody Durdan here, and I'm sorry.
Never disrespect Zalgas Zumagulov in my presence again.
I'm going with Cody Durdan here. I'm agreeing with Dan here.
Hey, do your
All
thing,
right.
21.
Especially as a dog, especially at altitude. He's altitudinal. All right. Chris Weidman, Eryk Anders, catchweight matchup, 195. I was on Eryk Anders. I was on Eryk Anders hard and heavy, but now I'm not. If you can't even show up, you get food poisoning, whatever. Who doesn't have food poisoning before a fight? No offense, Eryk Anders. He came on the show 3 times. He's a good guy. I love Eryk Anders. Roll damn Tide. But he was late. He was late to our podcast, and he no-showed the podcast a few times. He no-showed the fight. Organization, time management. I think Weidman is going to go in there and be able to win this fight. I think it's a serve-up matchup for Weidman. It was a serve-up matchup at Madison Square Garden. If I had gotten in Eryk Anders' ear and been able to say, hey, you need to stomp a mud hole in Chris Weidman's ass, then I think it would have gotten him, he would have got the message. But I never got to deliver that message. And while he was puking into a bucket, shitting into a fucking barrel, Weidman was shadow boxing, getting the steam coming out of his ears, and staying ready. In a game of inches, if I say
Weidman was not doing that. He was crying like the little baby he is. He is
he
such
probably
a
went out to the club
crybaby.
and got drunk and probably
He went out with Gian Vellante.
Yeah,
He's
him and
back
Gian
in
Vellante
town.
on
He
their
went.
wives.
Luke, you got to remember when Chris Weidman's in New York, he's now back in town. He lives in South Carolina now.
Right.
He's back in town. He's seeing all of his old friends. Matt Serra's coming over. What are you doing, cocksucker? They're all hanging out, rubbing elbows.
They were doing McGregor type shit.
Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
No problem, mate, yeah? No fucking problem.
So anyway, I'm taking Chris Weidman.
I'll second that. I like your theory about him, being pissed off about missing his opportunity at redemption for MSG. A guy who's coming off of food poisoning, and now you're going to stick him in Salt Lake City, Utah, and he's going to have to put the pedal to the metal against a guy who might be wrestling against him and just shoot takedown after takedown. Ooh, I don't know. Plus, you have the loss of incentive to really get yourself down at a healthy weight. They're going to balloon up to 195. Who knows by the time the fight actually starts what Andres is going to weigh at. Maybe he just mails this in. He's got a very successful real estate business. Check it out if you're in need of a home.
Who?
Eryk Anders. You're talking about organization and time management. Guy's running a whole business. He's doing quite well. So much so that he's, I think, 1 foot out of the fight game. God bless you, Eryk. Thanks for coming on the show. You've been an entertaining fighter, and I hope you have a great retirement afterwards. Let me make some money off you and go with Chris Weidman here, and we can all part our separate ways and have a good life.
The one person who got Chris Weidman, this man with the steam coming out of his ears, Anderson Silva, when he was disrespecting him, didn't dismiss him, act like he was nothing. Joey Diaz.
Belfort when he was on that. Remember he was like, he tested 40 times more testosterone than me. He was doing this stuff. He's still doing it, and I'm gonna prove tomorrow night it's not gonna matter. And then he beat he beat the fuck out of Vitor Belfort. Remember that?
Wait, I thought Vitor Belfort knocked him out.
Weidman beat the fuck out of him. Well, here's the thing. What's going against Weidman is Ray Longo being in his corner. Ray Longo has trouble navigating the stairs.
Turn around!
Ray Longo has a lot of trouble getting himself up the stairs. And it's only 3 steps to get into that octagon. 1, 2, 3. When he goes to get on the coping around the fucking octagon to be a cornerman, he has a lot of trouble getting in and out of that octagon. Ray Longo is a sea cow. He is a manta ray? Thing?
No, manatee.
He's a manatee. He is a fucking sea cow, dude. Ray Longo, fat as hell, morbidly obese. You should never have a trainer who you can yourself can beat up. And
Luke, before you go
Ray
on,
Longo.
Before you go on, the one episode of South Park I couldn't get behind was when they were making fun of My Family Guy, saying that manatees came up with every episode. Sorry, I had to dispel that rumor. Family Guy is the funniest show ever.
The real way that Family Guy,
especially that Stewie,
is they go to comedy shows and they write down what the people on stage are saying, and then they take it back. That's actually the real lore of the Family Guy writers' room. But anyway.
Oh yeah. I bet. I bet that's how they got it done. You go into an open mic and you're taking those jokes.
No, they're poaching the jokes off of the 200.
Amy Schumer.
There's only 250 that can do it,
And you're one of them. I know. You're one of them, baby.
You want Joe Rogan on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Joe's defending freedom of speech. If you don't know,
any of size.
Shout out to Brendan Schaub. Joe Rogan stole his joke, by the way. If you look at Joe Rogan's last special, he stole Brendan Schaub's joke.
It's like,
yes.
Oh, that's your takeaway?
About playing video games and banging your friends, right? That was the one.
Yep. This cat has found a home. Okay, I'm not homeless anymore. Brendan's cool. You're cool in my book, Brendan. Would love to have you on the show. Okay.
T-Fat K, baby.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do the other, his new show, Drive Fast All Gas. I will not say the T-Fat K version of that. I don't know what those are called.
Randy Brown, Bryan battle. So wait, we're be certifying Chris Weidman?
Yep.
No. I'm going Eryk Anders out of respect. This is a respect pick. I hate Chris Weidman. Hate everything about him. Never liked him. Yeah, don't really like anything about him. I hate the way he flirts with Lorosenko on the weigh-in shows. I hate the way he acts like he didn't poke Bruno Silva in the eye and needed to poke Bruno Silva in the eye to win that fight. I hate the way he act like breaking Anderson Silva's leg was on purpose. His whole legacy is bullshit. Luke Rockhold whooped his ass. You went for a wheel kick on Luke Rockhold. You have no fight IQ. Dumbass. You are just another Long Island dumbass. You can move to South Carolina as much as you want, but you're still dumb as fuck. Fuck Chris Weidman. I'm going with Anders out of respect. Roll damn Tide. My respect didn't get Basil very far. I told you guys how Basil was going to lose that fight, and I told you I'm still taking Basil out of respect. So understand what I'm saying here. This guy, Anders, he does struggle a little bit with the gas tank a little bit at Salt Lake City after coming off of, food poisoning. I don't think it will be very good. In Anders' defense, half of the UFC staff got food poisoning during that card.
You're right.
So, I don't think he was making it up. I don't think he was bullshitting. I saw that somebody called him out on Instagram and said that they would fight him in the gym. You're a dumbass. Do not fight Eryk Anders. Do not fight any Alabama football player ever. How about them apples? Eryk Eryk Anders wins this fight by hook or by crook. I hate Chris Weidman, and his legacy is bullshit.
I'm switching. Eryk Anders. I love Eryk Anders, and I hope he knocks Chris Weidman the fuck out. I'm taking
Roll
Eryk
damn
Anders.
tide, baby.
I just hope he
Roll
not.
damn tide.
Listen, I truly believe a wrestler like Chris Weidman will take down Eryk Anders at will, three rounds out of 3 rounds if he wants to, but not broken leg Chris Weidman. I hope Eryk Anders goes in there and knocks Chris Weidman.
Not old ass, frail ass Chris Weidman hasn't wrestled in 20 years. He's literally fucking playing karate with Wonderboy Thompson, hanging out with Ray Longo, hitting pads. He hasn't talked to Matt Serra in decades. And I have an inside source that told me that. He has not talked to Matt Serra in decades directly. He has Ray Longo, like literally, guys. This is just what I heard. One of my sources told me that Ray Longo talks to Matt Serra for Chris Weidman. They have to talk.
When you look into it,
All right, I'm taking Eryk Anders. I switched my pick. Bryan battle, Randy Brown. Bryan battle, Randy Brown. When will Bryan battle's Cinderella story come to a fucking end? I mean, this guy, 11-2. Absolute Cinderella story. I mean, since he lost to Hanat Fakhretdinov, beats Gabe Green by knockout, beats AJ Fletcher by submission, beats the fuck out of Angelusa, destroys Angelusa, then knocks the fuck out Kevin Jussier. Not knocks the fuck out. Kevin Jussier was still standing, but he didn't protest the TKO. He was stumbling around like
he battered him. He butchered him.
Oh, it was the best. I fucking loved it, dude. I loved it so much.
And then called out France on their home court.
Called out France. Now, here's what I'll say. I think he's on a bit of a Cinderella story.
He went into Paris like Hitler.
I mean, listen, he beat Andre Petroski. He beat Gilbert Urbina. He beat Trey Shangor. He beat Takashi Sato. The only losses to Hanat Fakhretdinov, and since then he has been fucking absolutely perfect, doing everything fucking right. But I think that Randy Brown's 13.
Crazy?
Randy Brown's 13-5 in the UFC. He's only lost to Vincente Luque, Jack Della Maddalena, Nico Price, Bilal Muhammad. Nico Price, that is a fucking blemish, but it was a fluky blemish in 2018. That's 6 years ago. We can forgive that.
Is that hammer fist from the bottom?
Yeah. You know, he beat Chaos Williams.
But Luke, he touched a koala. What do you think he's going to be doing in Salt Lake City? They're going to be having him touching talismans, tablets. They're going to have him go to John
Alex
Smith's
is referring
tablets.
to when he fought Jack Della Maddalena. They brought him to the Australian Zoo. They had him holding koalas. They had him holding fucking.
He got
pythons.
syphilis. I heard.
Yeah, he got syphilis from a koala or something. He got a fucking disease. He got COVID-19 SARS-2 from fucking touching all these exotic indigenous creatures in Australia. So that's a trick the Aussies do. When you go there, do not let them make you hold spiders and fucking bullshit, dude. They're out here like, here, take this marsupial.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm going with Rude Boy. You can't disrespect my boy Rude Boy. Make him 2-1 dog against Bryan Battle. No offense, Bryan Battle. I love Bryan Battle.
Ever since we stopped taking track of percentages, Luke just takes every dog.
Dude, we track percentages, bro. Like I'll give you an example.
This is actual picks. What do you mean?
This is crazy. These are crazy. These are crazy picks. Okay.
There's picks.
Brown dog, Weidman or Anders dog.
It's a pick 'em.
You made a case for Guida. You made a case for Bresky.
I'm not betting either of those two, and I don't expect either of them two to win.
Okay. All right.
But honestly, Brown's my first dog of the fucking night besides Durdan.
You're making it super confusing. For, like as the average.
Okay, first of all, keep in mind, Alex, this fight, these are 2 weeks out picks. CHIESA, Durdan.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought you picked Guida and I thought you picked Bresky, but then I remember you buried the lead.
I did pick Bresky,
okay,
but I'm not betting it. And I did pick Hooper, not Guida. And then I fucking picked CHIESA, dog, Durdan, dog, Anders, pick 'em. So, yeah, I picked 2 dogs in a row. They're plus 130 and plus 120 dogs. Like, it's a pick 'em pretty much.
I swore you talked about Clay Guida for 10 minutes.
These fights are 2 weeks away. So, yeah, he's a plus 120 dog today, 2 weeks away when no one's thinking about this card. They're thinking about Turkey. By the time the fucking Friday weigh-ins get here, Durdan could be the favorite. Fucking, what's his name could be the favorite. We would have never fucking known he was a dog opening line 2 weeks before the fight.
Well, we would have.
I'm just saying. So
Whatever.
I'm going with Randy fucking Brown. I think Randy Brown's going to win. I think that this is a Cinderella story for Bryan Battle. I think that he hasn't faced as stiff competition as Randy Brown. I think Randy Brown's taller, stronger, more athletic, and fucking something else that I'm not going to fucking say. But anyway, this is like Drake versus Kendrick, right? So, one of them's really out here. And the other one is from Canada. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. Bryan Battle's not from Canada, but I'm just saying. Bryan Battle's nickname was Pooh Bear. Okay? Randy Brown's nickname is Rude Boy. Randy Brown is from Jamaica, a place where they will fucking kill you. Bryan Battle is from where? North Carolina, North Kakalaki. So one is from a nice place with.
You know who else is from North Carolina?
The other one is from a nice place with beaches and machetes.
You know who else is from North Carolina? Da Baby.
Fair enough. Bryan Battle's nickname is Pooh Bear, and Randy Brown's nickname is Rude Boy. That's why I'm taking Rude Boy.
Da Baby's name is Da Baby, and he has killed 4 people legally.
The baby Jesus.
The baby Jesus. He came back from the dead to stand his ground.
That's fucking illegal.
It was,
listen, I'm just going with Rude
They
Boy.
drew first, Luke. They drew first.
He's faced tough for competition. He's cut from a different cloth. And I love Bryan Battle.
He's the whole reason we have war with Ian Garry.
That's true.
That's a little PPP lore that'll.
And now they're on the same card.
Exactly. And that is exactly why Bryan Battle is going to beat the fuck out of Randy Brown. And he's going to say, hey, where Layla fine ass at?
Ooh.
Hey. Shout out to Derek.
Layla have her milk and tea and go to bed early. She's 77 years old.
Of course. But, Bryan Battle's a showman. He's the butcher. He went
Bryan
out there.
Battle lose to... No. Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else.
He went out in Paris. He went out in Paris and got fined for the song that he chose. And you could look that up. I'm not going to say the title myself. And then he got fined for his post-fight speech. And Luke, don't be a hater, okay? He got fined for all that. He will never go back to Paris again. If you want to make a bet, I'll tell you, Bryan Battle never goes back to Paris again. And for one reason and one reason only, he's facing some charges out there. Bryan Battle is going to come out there. Luke, he went from Pooh Bear to the butcher. And now he's going to butcher this Rude Boy, real nice jerk chicken style. Okay? This chicken is going to get jerked, boy. I know what you mean by what you you didn't necessarily bury the lead too much. Text message.
Right. Okay. Either way, I'm just saying.
Bryan Battle destroys Rude Boy Brown.
I agree.
He's going to go out there
Bryan
and call
Battle.
out Ian Garry right after. And he
Perfect
should have gotten
call
this
out
Ian Garry
opportunity.
fight a long time ago.
He's going to call him out. It's going to be immaculate. Listen, here's the deal with Randy Brown. He's a bully also, like Michael Chiesa. If you look at his wins, it's all short dudes and old dudes. And he's got a couple wins against some tall guys, but he barely ekes it out. The Chaos Williams fight, Chaos Williams he's just throwing hammers, but not a technical guy. You would think Randy Brown, he's like a smart, smooth, slick, technical fighter. He'll piece him up. No, split decision, almost blew it. So I think a guy that's younger than him in Bryan Battle,
Same style.
come up. His skills are only getting better, still tough as nails. I'm liking this matchup. He's got an inch of a deficit on his reach. Same thing, virtually identical, as they say. So I think that Randy Brown is going to have some real comeuppance here. I think it's a tough matchup for him.
They've got a similar style, and Bryan Battle is willing to be more violent. And that is the difference. And Randy Brown needs to make it a little bit more pretty. He needs to be sitting on the outside, making it pretty. When guys make it ugly with Randy Brown, he wilts. And that's what Bryan Battle is going to do. Just like he did with Kevin Jussier. Because Kevin Jussier is better than Randy Brown. 100%. On mama.
All right. Next up, we got Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. 18-0 Movsar Evloev, 24-4 Aljamain Sterling. Anybody want to take this first, or I got a pretty good take?
Yes, I got it. I've got an amazing take. Sterling is better. Sterling is better in every facet of every single stretch of the game. He's just as big. I know he's coming up in weight class, but I honestly think that makes Aljamain Sterling a little bit more dangerous. Evloev has looked dangerous vulnerable in a lot of the fights that he's had so far in the UFC. Almost got finished by a couple of guys. You know, Diego Lopez looked good on 2 days' notice. Danny Gay looked good against him. There was another guy who looked really good against. What the fuck? Brendan Allen, one of my favorite fighters. Brendan Allen looked amazing against Evloev. That should have been a finish for Brendan Allen. That was a bullshit, rule. I don't even know what happened there, but he didn't break a rule. He finished Evloev. That should have been a loss on his record. Aljamain Sterling is kind of a better version of Brendan Allen, except a little bit not as crisp with the striking, but a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more rangy, keeps you at bay, has better wrestling than Brendan Allen. I think that this is the toughest matchup for Evloev available. I think that, honestly, Sterling is going to be a big problem for a lot of guys in this division. His wrestling is just too good. He's versatile in his strikes, and he's like a wrestling heavy Brendan Allen, where Brendan Allen's like a guy who holds you up against the cage, has really nice, crisp boxing. Aljamain Sterling's actually going to finish those takedowns, but instead of the boxing, he's going to be kicking you from range. And once you get inside that range, you're in his wrestling range. So I think Aljamain Sterling ends up beating Evloev. I think he's just a little bit more frail than Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling is thick, strong. He's probably like a 160-pounder, 180-pounder walking around, and he's still fighting. And this is at 145 or 135. I think he's going to do 145. He's going to do really well for this weight class, and he's going to beat the shit out of Evloev.
All right. Yeah. Nah, not buying it. 35 years old, fighting at 145. You got to look at who he's fought recently, right? Calvin Kattar sucks ass. Sean O'Malley got knocked out by him. Henry Cejudo, split decision. A lot of people think Henry won that fight. Henry was also coming out of retirement. TJ Dillashaw.
Cutting a lot of weight, though.
TJ, let me do my point. I didn't interrupt you. TJ Dillashaw. Shoulder popped out of his socket. Peter Yan, split decision. And that was when Peter Yan was having all those knee difficulties, right? So, who else? Split decision to Chase Hooper in grappling.
Yeah, but, Brendan Schaub lost to, what's his name? Ryan Gracie. Not Ryan Gracie. Which Gracie? Henry Gracie? When Henry Gracie just sat on his butt scooting toward him the whole time. I mean, I thought Brendan Schaub won that. Was it Cyborg, Gracie? Which one was it?
Let's think about who he beat before his title run, right? Brett Johns, Cody Stamen, Jimmy Rivera, Pedro Munoz, Corey Sandhagen. The only one that stands out to me is Corey Sandhagen.
Pedro Munoz was doing his thing, though, dude.
And that was before Pedro Munoz sucks. And he beat Corey Sandhagen before Corey Sandhagen read The Art of War and decided to become a assassin. So
he think he Brad Pitt or who's the last, or Tom Cruise. He think he Tom Cruise. He's the last samurai.
But Corey Sandhagen also is a basketball playing Xbox nerd, He wears flat foot Vans shoes, He wakes up in the morning and eats a bagel for breakfast and doesn't know how to cook, you know? That's what I think about Corey Sanders. I don't know. He's the mongoose. I love him, but
yeah,
I'm going with Movsar Evloev. I think he wins a boring-ass decision. But, I mean, I get it. I get everything you said, Alex. I do kind of think Aljo's better everywhere. Only problem is he's 35 and he's got a Super Bowl hangover. He's past his prime, moving up in weight. I don't think he gets Evloev to the ground, and I don't think he's a difference maker in the striking department enough. Maybe with the volume, but I think Evloev is going to just do little difference-making things to eke out each round. I don't know. Even as I'm saying this, I kind of think I'm wrong. But it's like, am I going to pick every underdog? I mean, Jesus Christ. Alex made a pretty good case for Aljo. I don't know if you were here for it, but he made a pretty good case.
No, I didn't hear it, but I feel like, I've been going back and forth on this one, so I can understand the Aljo side. I'm going to go with Evloev, though. I'm going to play it safe, as it were.
Why did Aljo pull out? That's the real question. You know what I mean? He pulled out.
He might.
No, he pulled out once already.
Yeah, he might pull out again. That's what I'm saying.
And the UFC forced his ass. He tried to do what Bilal just did to Rakhmonov, which is make him do one more. And he didn't do it. They called his bluff.
Yeah. I don't like if that's the case, then it's easy Evloev pick. Guy who's going to be bigger in there. I don't see him getting, submitted, right? So I think over the course of 15 minutes, he'll find his spot, like Luke said, close rounds, but with that dog mentality at the very end, he'll find his way to, get that last 30-second takedown or, land that.
He doesn't have a dog mentality. That's where you're wrong. Evloev does not have a dog mentality. He's a boring ass.
Of course he does. He dogged it out against Lopez.
He does not have a dog mentality. He did not dog it out against Lopez.
These Russians only perform and only show up when the conditions are optimal for them. It's always something. They cry their ass off when they have to cut weight. They cry their ass off when they have to cut weight. They fucking cheat to make weight. They use IVs. They fucking
that's
mess with the scale. They
do everything it takes to win. In other words,
they only show up when it's peak optimized conditions for them.
Well, I think conditions will.
We got NFL players. We got four teams. We got 4 teams in the NFL. We're gonna play on Christmas Day. Bunch of Jesus loving fucks, and they're gonna play on Christmas Day. These guys can't show up for 3 months when it's fucking one of their holidays. So
that's bullshit. Speaking of which, the hardball players are playing against each other, and there was a blatant pass interference that wasn't just called on the Ravens. I don't know why the NFL hates the Ravens so much, but
it is the hardball bowl. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we got to get in there and watch this. Ravens versus Chargers. Fun fact, the San Diego Chargers were named after people using credit cards.
You serious?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Baltimore Ravens were named after Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven.
Yeah.
49ers were named after the gold digging era.
And the Chargers and Jai Herbert, the most interesting thing I saw was that they've won and lost
Justin Herbert, not Jai Herbert.
They won and lost the same amount of games, and they've given up and allowed the same amount of points.
Interesting.
Something like that. It might not be accurate now, but as of last season, it was. All right.
Well, this season they have the same amount of wins, so I thought you were talking about this season.
So we got 2 for Evloev and a bunch more to break down. So let's go into Vincente Luque versus Thema Gorimbo Tremana.
And I'm taking Thema by drive and power. And I'm not going to go through the full rap again. I did that once on the show. I won't do it again. But shout out to The Rock. The Rock, you're welcome to take my seat, Luke's seat, Dan's seat, any seat on this show. You can have any of them. But I prefer...
don't like The Rock. I hate Red. The Rock will not take my seat. I hate Red One. I hate the idea that they bastardize and militarize Santa Claus. I think if The Rock has his druthers, Red One becomes a part of the culture, like the Santa Claus or like Elf. And the idea that Red One would become a part of Santa lore in Santa mythology.
Luke, there's already Krampus, bro. Like, we got to protect from
I hate that
Krampus.
shit too.
That's going to be Red 2. Red 2.
At least
Red
Krampus
2.
is real.
Luke. Red 2 is Red 1 versus Krampus. You haven't even thought this through yet. You don't even understand.
Bro, I hate
Santa's
Red
always
1.
under attack because
Human
Christianity is always under attack by everything. And that's what you don't get. The Rock is actually
He's attacking
Crusader.
Christianity, in my opinion. He's attacking
No,
Christianity.
he's attacking everybody who's attacking Christianity. He says keep the Santa Claus in Christmas. What are you
We don't
talking
need a militarized fucking Santa. Remember in the Santa Claus when they're like, Santa's driving a tank, and he's like, no, what? Scott Calvin was like, no. I don't like when people mess with Santa lore and Santa mythology. The Rock, you should be ashamed of yourself. Melikili Kimaka, yeah, real fucking nice. Demba Gorimbo, I agree with you. I think that he has more heart, and I think that he has good coaching, and I think that he
ain't Nick Diaz. That's the main thing. He ain't Nick Diaz. He is not an old meth. He
That's
is
Nick Diaz, who's on the vegan shit, who's on the smoking weed shit, who's on the triathlon shit, the nunchuck shit. If he's using drugs, that upsets me to no end. That upsets me to the highest.
That's what my sources tell me. I hate to hear it though. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I hate to hear it, and
I don't even think it was him in that.
Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
I don't think that was him in that video. That didn't look like him.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
I'm taking Themba, and I think Vincente Luque, he quits in there. He almost lost to Tyrone Woodley. He's got 10 losses. I think Themba steamrolls him.
Luque is going down. Man, he was so promising at one point in time. North Jersey guy. Really thought I had a dude, but he is just cratering here.
Who? Who's a North Jersey guy? Both of these guys are from other countries.
Vincente Luque is from North Jersey.
Brazil.
No. Went to high school in New Jersey. Anyway. Yeah, Themba's the new hot thing. He's the guy that's got the company rub.
Was he 28 when he went to high school in New Jersey?
No. I don't know
when
why.
When did he go to high school in New Jersey?
Simple point. Doesn't really mean anything.
I don't know. He looks older than Chris Weidman to me.
Well, you could look it up in your spare time if you'd like. I'm trying to break down this fight.
Sorry.
Got Themba Gorimbo, and I think he's going to take it down and have his way. Maybe some he might even get him in the striking. Luque's been so sloppy in just about every department here, so give me Themba Gorimbo.
Are you actually right about this, Dan? His mother was raised in Chile, where she met and married his father before relocating to the United States.
He's from Westwood, New Jersey. Westwood.
Is he not Brazilian at all?
Well, Brazilian, I mean, you could be fucking Chinese and still be born in New Jersey. I mean,
but no, I'm not saying he so what? He went to high school in New Jersey. If he went K through 8 in Brazil, what do you want me to tell you?
there's no information about him in high school.
Dan's a liar.
I think Dan's lying.
Dan's a liar.
Okay, so anyway, we should be certified at Themba Gorimbo.
Dan would have went to high school with him if he grew up in West Ferry, right? Isn't that where Dan grew up?
Yeah,
no, it's not.
He's our age.
He went to a high school near me.
He's our age.
Did you hear about him on the wrestling team? Did he join the wrestling team, the football team? Yeah, so.
All right, Anthony Smith versus Dominick Reyes. Dominick Reyes by knockout.
Hell yeah. Dominick Reyes only loses by knockout. Anthony Smith does not have any stopping power. He could not knock out a fly. He could not knock out a crackhead in his garage. He could not knock out any fighter in the UFC if you can't knock out a crackhead in your garage. Dominick Reyes, people say he's chinny. I don't necessarily think so. Guys he was knocked out to. Jan Blachowicz, and guys, what do we say about Jan Blachowicz? Legendary Polish power. And Yuri Prochazka, The Last Samurai. You want to talk about Last Samurais? Tom Cruise, shout out. But you know, Yuri Prohashka is the Last Samurai. And then John Jones. Ryan Spann, I get it. Yeah, Ryan Spann, he ain't much. That don't impress me much. But I will admit, Anthony Smith is a little bit more durable than Dominick Reyes, but Anthony Smith isn't able to put the damage on Dominick Reyes that Dominick Reyes is able to put on Anthony Smith. Way too big, way too strong, way too athletic. If he does a little meth before he goes into the cage, he will 100% win this fight because Anthony Smith can't win against drug addicts in his own garage. So he definitely can't win against a college football player, Anthony Smith.
By the way, can I just say something?
Yeah, say
the
whatever.
The illegal knee came in round 4. John Jones had won every round.
Yes.
So they would
by
have
the
won.
new rules, it would have went to a scorecard. But at that time, the rules were disqualification was disqualification. Same thing with Aljamain Sterling.
Are you sure?
Positive. The rules changed since then. I'm 100% sure.
If it's an unintentional foul, then it goes to the
rules changed. Rules changed.
I don't think that's right. I think they deemed Peter Yan's foul intentional.
But that was 2 years before that.
Let us know in the comments. We don't have time. All right. Yeah. So we all go with Dominick Reyes here. Easy. Lionheart, you're a bitch. All right. Nate Landwehr versus Doo-Ho Choi. Doo-Ho Choi, the Korean Superboy, plus 135 underdog after knocking out Bill Algeo. Before that, majority decision.
Anthony Smith could offer me $1 million to get a tattoo in his shop and get interviewed by him, and I wouldn't take it because I want to go to heaven.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this one's pretty easy for me. Nate Landwehr, Nate the Train, at altitude all day. More heart. He's going to send him back to South Korea. That's it.
Nah, I'm going to have to break my own heart here. Go with Doo-Ho Choi. I've been an OG Nate Landwehr fan since his first fight in the UFC. Looking at his tape back in he was fighting in some crazy Russian promotion. He was kicking ass. I was like, this guy's awesome. Can't wait to watch him in the UFC. Does his thing. But today is when the rubber hits the road. I got to go with Choi. I think I can see in my mind's eye he's piecing him up, man. He's piecing him up. You know, Doo-Ho Choi used to be known for that piston of a right hand. Really fast, really clean. I think he finds it again. And I'm not going to predict knockout or, just straight money line, whatever. But I like Choi here. I think the striking is going to be a little too much for Landwehr.
I'm going to roll with my brother Luque here. Landwehr by sub. Landwehr only gets knocked out by the lower extremities. He's never been knocked out by a boxer. Nobody can get it done with the hands. Doo-Ho Choi is powerful. I love Doo-Ho Choi, but he's a little old. Took a couple years away from him, put him in the military. Should have done that while he was, 18, like we do with the dumbest guys in our country. But
younger.
Sorry
to pop in there, but Choi is younger.
Hey, regardless, that doesn't matter to me whatsoever. I think that Nate Landwehr has only been knocked out by knees and elbows. And Doo-Ho Choi is a boxer by trade. And boxers are easier to take down because they need to plant their feet to throw their punches. Some would think that like when a leg comes up to kick, I think that's a little bit harder to take down because they can whip it back so fast. Where a boxer has to plant their feet to get the power. I think Nate Landwehr is going to stay on the pressure, be able to absolutely smother Doo-Ho Choi. Nate Landwehr has never been knocked out by a punch in his life. He's not going to get knocked out by a Korean. He's going to beat the shit out of him and submit him. Doho Choi is going to take Sabuku, coward's way out, and get
That's
rear
Japanese.
naked choked.
That's a Japanese thing. But
I know, but I'm not racist. That's why I said it. You know what I mean? Like I would say that for anybody who took a rear naked choke after they're getting the shit kicked out of them on their feet. Anybody who does the you know what I mean? Anybody who Chael Sonnen says it. He says 90% of the rear naked chokes that happen in the UFC are because of people who are just looking for the closest way to the door without getting hurt.
I agree with you. 2 out of 3 will be on Nate the Train. Next, we got Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Alex, off the top of your head, how would you line this fight? Don't pick a winner. What do you think Vegas should line the fight?
I think Vegas should line it minus 400 Bryce Mitchell.
Well, it's okay. Well, that's a perfect line because Vegas has lined the fight. Minus 520 Bryce Mitchell, plus 310 Kron Gracie.
I was going to say more. But I thought it'd be closer.
I think this is a little bit crazy, but it's not that crazy because at the end of the day, Kron Gracie is friends with the Diaz brothers, and just like his uncle Royce, remember when Royce lost to Matt Hughes and he was like, Jiu-Jitsu won at the end of the day, and Matt Hughes was like, no, American fucking wrestling won. I fucking pounded your head into the fucking oblivion.
And then I used Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah.
These guys play by their own rules, and they didn't get the memo for what sport they're playing. So Kron Gracie will go out there, and in his own mind, he will win, and he will lose every second of this fight. He will walk forward with no striking offense. He will eat punches. He will not get a single takedown. He will end up pulling Bryce Mitchell into his guard. Bryce Mitchell will beat the fuck out of Kron Gracie. And the only thing I like about this, I mean, this is going to be a great fight. I love this fight. It's such an interesting stylistic matchup. Such an interesting, style matchup. You got an old school guy in Kron Gracie who's still kind of young, but he's not that young. He is 36.
36, yeah. He's
36. He's 36.
30s.
He's 6 years older, fighting at featherweight. That's way past featherweight prime. Bryce Mitchell's 30 years old. Yes, he's coming off one of the most brutal knockouts in the history of the UFC, but it was a year ago, and he's.
But Luke, what has he been doing in between that? Has he been going on Patrick Bet Day, talking about the ferment? Has he been?
And hey, this is what I was going to say. This is the Flat Earth Bowl because both of these guys are flat earthers. Kron Gracie is a flat earth truther.
Do you think the UFC it's like a loser leaves ferment bowl? A loser leaves the dome.
You both know you can't escape the firmament.
When you look into it,
solar system or soul lore system.
They're like
trapped in a prison planet.
Dude.
What?
I said they'll send you up there like an Indian rocket and have you explode against the water.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. Yeah, we went to the moon, and so did India recently. India went to the moon. India is still trying to figure out how to make a car, and yeah, they went to the moon. So, okay. All those great Indian imported cars we have, right? But they went.
Shout out to Pakistan. Pakistan #1.
All right, so it's Bryce Mitchell. It's Bryce Mitchell all day long for me.
Did you pick it, Alex?
I mean, Luke asked me what I would put the line at, and I said minus 400 Bryce Mitchell, and that was generous.
I heard that. In my mind, I was
Gracie.
I was like,
it's minus 520 on DraftKings. I found that to be surprising. Bryce Mitchell coming off having a seizure in the octagon. Bryce Mitchell's biggest strength is jiu-jitsu. He's taking on the son of Rickson Gracie. I find it to be a little surprising. I would more so line
the son of Rickson Gracie, who used to be a skateboarder, though. Like, you got to remember that. Like Rickson Gracie,
175 Bryce.
Luke,
I would line it closer to the Landwehr Choi line.
Luke. Your dad does anything you don't want to do what your dad does. Rickson Gracie's doing the coolest thing ever. And Kron Gracie's like, hey, Pa, I want to skateboard and, surf and have fun. And
he's a regular Zac Efron, High School Musical.
Dude, absolutely. You gotta exactly. He is the most manly thing. He is the most manly thing he can do, and he goes to the lamest thing he can do. Yeah, that's right, baby. I corrected my vocabulary, and I'm going to from here on out. That's lame. Kron Gracie got out wrestled by Jordan. Bryce Mitchell is going to take him down, smother him. Bryce Mitchell could submit Charles Jourdain in a single round. Bryce Mitchell, if he were to fight Charles Jourdain, he would submit him in round 1. You ain't winning a modern MMA fight if you are in the top 25 of your division in a male MMA fight from your back doing submissions. You're not
nonetheless.
You're not winning a single, and this is a blanket statement. I guarantee it. You are not winning an MMA bout as a male within the top 25 of your division off your back with a submission unless your name is Charles Oliveira. And even he would struggle with it at this point in where MMA is at this time in our trajectory. Charles Oliveira got all those submissions off his back in the 2010s when people didn't have any idea and they were coming in as wrestlers and didn't even know what an armbar was. Okay? Nobody is getting submissions off their back nowadays, let alone in the top 10, top 25, top 15. It gets even more rare.
And yet, Bo Nickel was scared to death to fucking take Paul Craig down.
Oh, yeah, Bo Nickel. So lame.
Randy Brown on this card got knocked out from top position.
That's not a submission, Dan.
I know, but it's a guy who won the fight from his back.
Yeah, I would be afraid to get punched in the face off of. I would be more afraid of an elbow Gregor Mousasi against King Mo style elbow from the back than I would be triangle. Like, I know how to get out of a triangle. I don't know how to stop somebody from elbowing me in the head besides going shelling up. And if they escape an elbow, that's a lot more damaging. Doctor can stop that sucker. I don't know, man. If you're getting submitted by triangles and, guillotines and arm bars from guard, like, you need to reevaluate your career trajectory. And that's all I'm saying. Like, you should not be in the UFC.
Next, we got Ciryl Gane, trophy certified Bryce Mitchell. Next, we got Ciryl Gane versus Alexandre Volkov. Ciryl Gane's a French bitch. I'm taking Alexander Volkov. Generous odds, plus 210. I think that's crazy. Ciryl Gane, Alexander Volkov looked the best he's ever looked against Sergey Pavlovich. That was 5 months ago. Meanwhile, Ciryl Gane fought Sergey Spivak, who his path to victory is, smothering people with the wrestling. But ultimately, he's not that great of a wrestler. You know what I mean? And he lost that fight. Or he won that fight a year and 2 months ago. Ciryl Gane's been sitting on the shelf doing podcasts, fucking playing FIFA for 14 fucking months. He's going to come in here at fucking altitude and take on Volkov. The only thing that gives me cause to pause is that Volkov pulled out of this fight, but standing 3 inches taller, being, in my opinion, the tougher, better kickboxer, more well-rounded fighter, I think Volkov fucks him up, and I think he fucks him up bad.
I'm going to go with Ciryl Gane. I'm going to go with the guy who could move around versus the guy who's too tall to be agile at all. And I know that, look at that rhyme there. Look at me. I'm going with the athlete here. It's going to be a boring fight. Not going to be a lot of shots landed, not a lot of power to them either. But I think that Gane is going to play the numbers game. He's going to be moving around. He's going to be in and out. What happened with the game? All right. See Alex freaking out over there. I said, I'm watching the game. Nothing's happening.
No,
it was a nice one.
A penalty on the offense after Derrick Henry gets a touchdown.
Anyway, listen, I don't like Ciryl Gane either, but this is a fight card for me where a couple of my darlings and a couple of my least favorite fighters, it's gotta go against me in that regard. So give me Ciryl Gane. Alex, can you break this tie here? Where are we going with this?
Although both of these guys have had the same amount of fights since they have fought each other, I believe. As of late, Volkov has been more willing to fight. Where Gane has been playing in movies. Oh my gosh, dude. Lamar Jackson just did the same exact move he did in high school where he like paused on the line and then ran in. It wasn't as clean, but it was amazing. Holy that was sexy. Yes, where these guys have fought the same amount in the same amount of time. Gane hasn't fought in a year. Where Volkov has fought in the last year twice, and he's been trying to fight, and he's been booked for fights, and he's been training, where Gane has been in movies. Tom Aspinall has been trying to fight him, and yeah, he's taken a matchup that's more favorable to him. He's already beat Volkov in the past, right? So I'm going to go with Volkov here. I think Volkov is coming into his own.
Who scored on the Ravens?
Jackson.
I just told you, Lamar Jackson did the same move he did in high school. It was so
Dude, you're
cool.
like 30 seconds faster than me.
Yeah, it's YouTube TV. I'm not fucking illegally streaming these games.
I'm using cable. I'm a old school guy.
Get with the program, baby. I hate to tell you to get with the program. Half of my friends stream them illegally, and half of my friends are watching cable. I say, you got to get on YouTube TV. People say I can't watch a 30-second ad when I'm watching a YouTube video, but, I have NFL Red Zone and NFL Sunday Ticket, so I don't know what the fuck y'all are telling me. Whenever the Eagles are out of, the Eagles are out of market 3 times a year, right?
No. What?
Oh, I guess it was where I lived before, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I was a little closer to Pittsburgh. No, I was way closer to Philly, but I was like still.
You were north.
Oh, so I was getting Jets. Jets and Giants?
Yeah. I mean, you tell me. You live there, but I mean.
I was getting Jets, Giants, and Steelers. I wasn't getting Philly in my local broadcast, so I don't need Sunday Ticket anymore. That's good. That's good news. I can just get my local broadcast and also Red Zone. All right, yeah, but I'm going with Volkov here. Volkov, easy money. I think he's just more in it. Gane's been in movies.
I think
Hasn't fought in over a year.
Gane, when he's comfortable to know he's not going to get knocked out, he's not going up against fucking Francis or John Jones. Not that Jones would knock him out, but really hurt. Okay, Volkov's not going to kill this guy, so he's going to be super comfortable in there, and that's what's going to give him that extra little confidence boost to win it on points.
But I think Volkov gets a confidence boost because he realized right away after seeing Ngannou fight Gane and seeing Jones fight Gane, and both of them being able to take him down at will, right? I think he gets a sense of confidence where he's like, oh, well, if things aren't going good on the feet, where usually I'm good, Volkov is pretty good on the ground himself.
What? What is Volkov's last shot at takedown?
Derek Lewis. He took him down for 2 rounds, and then he got knocked out in the 3rd, right?
I don't remember that. And that was 2016, even if he did.
I don't remember that one. I was experimenting in the astral space during that fight card, so
remember
I don't necessarily remember what happened.
He said, Donald Trump called me and told me, knock this Russian motherfucker's ass out.
That's all I remember. And then Conor fought Khabib.
That was Khabib McGregor, yeah. That was 229.
There was so much tension
my balls
there.
Was hot too.
Yep.
There was so much tension in the air that night, guys. I felt sick to my stomach.
Looks like he had 1 takedown. So.
All right. So it looks like 2 of us are going Volkov. 1 of us is a Lafayette type French trader.
No, Lafayette was actually an American.
Yeah, wait, what? You said
guy. He helped us. That's why every fucking street is named Lafayette. He traded on the French.
But he was spending a lot of time in France, is all I'm saying.
Oh, he wasn't a traitor to the French.
Well, he was French.
Oh, I meant to say this.
Yeah, but he didn't fight against the French.
Yeah, and you're the history buff. Alex,
the
So
the American. The whole
right
time.
now, I'm in the same place as Adolf Hitler, right? But I'm not going to make the same mistake. History repeats. So
Argentina.
I was up, doing really well. Blitzkrieg, letting off bombs, winning so many battles in the war. But now it's the winter. And rather than march my troops into Russia, I'm going to hold back. And I'm going to play it really safe.
You already marched all your troops into Russia. What are you talking about? You fought a battle on both fronts. You had $3,000 and you decided, I'm going to fight a battle on this front. I'm going to fight a battle on this front. I'm going to fight a battle on this front. You weren't patient enough to win one battle at a time. Yes, you are Hitler. You've already committed suicide. Ava Braun is picking up your skull off of the floor. So if you know anything, you have already fallen folly where I have withstood. I have sold arms to both sides. I have let you both corrupt each other into peril. And now I am the only one with positive money. And with this $80,
damn, you're using my own analogy against me, and you're kind of right.
I am 100% right.
That's all hand you checks. Bing, 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 bing.
That's what happens when you play history with a historian, dipshit.
Right. So co-main event time. Someone's O has got to go. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Machado Garry. Sweet, sweet revenge. Sweet, sweet revenge. Sweet, sweet, sweet revenge.
Ba, ba, ba.
I am going with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Word on the street is he's already choked Ian Garry out in the gym many a time. Shavkat is going to choke Ian Garry out in front of the Salt Lake City audience. They don't like Salt Lake City. Actually, they do. They will be supporting Ian Garry because you know what they're into in Salt Lake? Mormons. You know what Mormons are into?
Polygamy.
And matching, multiple partners, wife swapping, sharing wives, doing multiple sister wives, right?
Polygamy.
Polygamy. That's what I'm looking for. Polygamy.
I said it. It's polygamy.
So they're gonna be like Ian, Irish, probably Catholic. He believes in Christ, not the one we do, not the alien Joseph Smith Christ, but he still believes in Jesus. So they're gonna be all on Jesus. But let me tell you this: Shavkat Rakhmonov plays a game in Kazakhstan where
you're thinking of Orlai Orlebeki.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of Mikalek Orlebeki. But either way, they have a game in Kazakhstan where they.
But he eats horse. His favorite meat is horse.
They get on horseback and they try to score a goal with a fucking dead goat carcass. Okay,
they're from different countries.
Okay, are you sure?
Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan, I believe.
Tomato. Okay, so I'm going with Shavkat. Shavkat's gonna pop Ian Garry's little head off his fucking neck. Shavkat by finish. I'm gonna bet it early. I'm gonna bet it often, and I'm gonna get myself back in the black. We only said goodbye with words.
You know what's crazy? I always wonder, like, when guys train together, are they so delulu that they're like, oh, I was holding back? Like, do they really think that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Shouldn't
you gotta be a little
know?
delusional. You gotta be able to trick yourself into believing the lie.
So that's why Luke thinks he can knock me out.
It's like Shavkat.
Remember, Jerry,
also
it's
thinks
not a lie if you believe it.
Hey, Hitler once said, as you know, Luke brought up Hitler. Did you tell
you repeat a lie 3 times, it becomes fact.
Yes. I don't think he actually said that, but you know.
I think it was actually Stalin who said that.
Which more respectable for some reason.
I think you were right the first time. I think it was Hitler. Could be wrong though.
I think it was Goebbels.
Yeah, Joseph Goebbels. You're right.
Oh shit! Propaganda, baby. Let's go, NASA. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Rakhmonov to get my rocks off. But I wish this was Bryan Battle. I think Bryan Battle beats both of these motherfuckers, except for Rakhmonov. Only way Rakhmonov can lose is by flash KO. And guys, I think both of these fellas beat Bilal Muhammad. If I'm being like 100% honest, if I'm being 100% Amish, If I'm being 100% Amish, shout out to Dustin Stolfitz. If I'm being 100% Amish, you know, I think both of these guys beat Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad is a lot smaller. I know his head looks like the pita bread from Wiener Party or whatever that movie was with Seth Rogen.
Weird fucking reference.
No, everybody says it on Twitter, dude. You're just not online, Dan. The pita bread looks like Bilal Muhammad, but
I'm imagining it. And it does.
His head's huge, but his body isn't necessarily as big as like Ian Garry's or Michael Venom Page's, or you know what I mean? I feel like those guys are like a lot bigger than like Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad, although they're all the same weight class. Am I crazy for that? Am I crazy for thinking Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Bilal Muhammad would look more of a size discrepancy than Shavkat versus Jeff Neal? Like, I think Jeff Neal is taller than Bilal Muhammad, right?
Damn,
Like,
Shavkat's already minus 390 on FanDuel. Fuck.
go Shavkat knockout.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way because everybody already knows.
$3,900 on Shavkat to win 1,000 and bring me back into the black.
Shavkat by finish.
Keep
That
it
should get
simple.
you down to
Into
like
the green. Into the green. If you're willing to bet that much.
Stupid. Keep it simple, stupid.
I think that's.
Let's see how we do in blackjack. We're going to be at the casino already on the 7th.
I think you should not do that.
You think they'll be showing the fight at the casino?
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I'm going to bet on this card whatsoever. If I'm going to be playing blackjack, I like my odds better at the table.
We'll win. We'll win early on blackjack. Yo, I hope they have that game, no dice craps, where you bubble craps. Have you seen those videos?
That's fucking crazy, dude. I like to put a spin on it.
You know what I don't like about those videos? All the guys that do bubble craps, they're like, "Look, watch how easy this is," and they win, and then they don't keep playing. I'm like, well, if it's that easy, keep doing it. Like, why? They're like,
Luke. Here's the thing. You know, you've never heard a lesson about responsible gambling, but I will give you one right now. And here's how it works.
It can't be that easy if like
Luke, no. Here's how easy it is you bet a lot on the first one, and then when you lose that, if you lose, whatever. If you win, take it and go home. Get it? You keep gambling if you lose, but if you win, you take half of the money you're willing to bet, put it on the first bet. If you win, you take the reward and go home.
Okay.
But if you lose
at the casino,
you bet the other 50%.
They will be playing in the FanDuel Sportsbook Lounge. They will be playing Rakhmonov versus they'll be playing UFC 310. Book your table now.
Yo, this is hilarious. I asked you guys like where this was going to be. You're all like, don't dox it. You guys
wait, did he just say? He didn't say where it was. He didn't say where it was.
He said the exact location.
No, I didn't. I said the FanDuel Lounge.
Yeah, doesn't that give it away?
I don't think so.
They don't know where we live, bro.
You can just Google FanDuel Lounge.
We're going to Atlantic City.
Dan, there's 100 casinos with FanDuel lounges, dumbass.
All right, bro. I'm not traveling the fucking country going to casino to casino.
Well, and if you did, maybe this podcast would blow up because Luke and I have been doing it all year and no one even likes us. We go to these casinos. Nobody even reacts. I sit here. I look like, I look like I'm trying to phantom tax these guys. Dude.
All right, Alex, we got to get on top of this and we got to book a table and we got to get a 10 p.m. reservation. Rezo.
No money. I have no funds.
I think it's free. I think you just have to buy drinks. And
so do it then, son. I give you full permission to do that.
You have no money. I'm looking right there. You have $80.
That's $80. in this competition. That's
I'm
not
not
in
liquid,
my actual life.
John, I'm not liquid. I'm not liquid. Hey, I got an inside tip that from Greg. So me and Greg, we're big time hodlers. We're big time hodlers of this one cryptocurrency coin called Pi Coin. Okay. Now Pi Coin you can mine on the mobile phone. Okay. And me and Greg, we've been mining Pi on the mobile phone for about 6 years now. Okay. Greg's in my mining.
Yeah, right, dude. Greg has been playing fucking RuneScape. He's not mining no. And
all you
listen,
have to do every day, you just open the app and you click one button, and that mines you for 24 hours. Okay, so you just have to click a button once a day. Okay, and me and
that's
Greg have been
fucking
mining.
stupid. You know what you should do is mine Rune in RuneScape, and you can sell that. Every mill you get is worth 50 cents. There you go.
So let me just show you something real quick. Okay. So Picoin has not yet gone into the main net. Okay. Main net is like a term for like it's actually on exchanges. It's still in the pre-phase, right? So Greg hits me up today. He goes, yo, you check your Picoin recently? Like blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, because at the end of the day, you can't buy and sell this coin yet. So how could they have a price on something you can't buy and sell? This could just be speculative. I don't know. But this website is reputable. Coinmarketcap.com. I mean, they have all the coin prices and stuff, right? So I'm just going to show this to you, right? Coinmarketcap.com has Picoin priced right now, right, at $67.44. Okay. I don't know if this is real. Dude. Ask me how much. It's set to go live on the main net in a month. Okay.
Wait,
Meaning, like,
you're not going to get us
exchange.
all to some insider trading bullshit, right?
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's just, I'm just saying, like, there's an app where you can mine Picoin. It's called the Pi app. And I've been doing it for a while. And Greg and I have both been doing it. And, you know, the Coin Market Cap says that Pi price is $67.44. Okay. That's what it says. I don't know how the fuck they're basing that, but it's the same logo. It says, you know, these are Stanford graduates who developed this coin, right, Dan? And it says featured on Forbes.com, right? You know, Forbes Digital Access. There's an article right here about Pi. What is Pi Network, right? It says it right here.
Vertical bar, vertical bar, vertical bar, vertical bar, vertical bar, vertical bar, vertical bar.
So my point is, me and Greg, we've been mining this coin for like 6 years, right? Clicking the button once a day, sometimes forgetting for months at a time, but just clicking it whenever I remember. And it says it's $67 a coin. It's going live on the mainnet in a month. And Greg and I both have 1,000 Pi coins. So
Luke.
that's $67,000.
That's crazy.
If if true. Big if true.
Big if true.
Like if
not,
I'll hand you checks. Bing, bing, bing.
You better hand me checks. Bing, bing, bing.
Oh, I will not be handing. You will never.
You just said you would. No.
I'm going to. What I'm going to do is, let's see. What will I do if I get $67,000? Well, I got to pay capital.
You know, Luke.
So,
Watch Fish Tank, and they say, "Oh, you're doing all this for $50,000? You are crazy. This is going to end up being $32,000. That's not going to buy your mom a car. That's not going to buy you a house. You should not be doing all this crazy stuff for $50,000."
Anything. I click a button once a fucking month.
No, I know, but
I'm just saying, if Picoin goes to $67, I mean, and that's right now. I mean, imagine when it goes on the main exchanges, people are going to be buying this coin like fucking hotcakes, you know? So
what you do, you sell half of it, you hold the rest.
Well, I think that once it goes live, everyone is gonna fucking sell it immediately. And
Luke, as a special
99% of value
Luke, as a special ops operator back in my day, I see you wearing that Vietnam hat. You know, when we got our check right afterwards, we would put that small business loan right away, buy a house, get property. You know, God's not making any more of that anytime soon. Exactly. So you take the 32K, you flip that, you buy a property, you use 15.
I buy a duplex and a triplex.
Hey, chill. You take the first, you take the other 15, a half of the rest, you reinvent that space. You make it luxury homes. Now you're gentrifying a location that was never supposed to be gentrified. And then you own every single spot in town. You got the cupcake spot. You got the coffee
I got to
shop.
make my money work for me. If I get the 67K, I'm going to do what Dan said. I'm going to open up a high yield savings account
In Camden.
and just wait.
No, you buy a building in Camden right now. That Luke, God's not making any more land.
I think what I really do is I put 60 grand. I go to the casino, I put 60 grand on Ilya Topuria.
Until they break the ice wall down or bust through the ferment, there's no more land coming out soon.
All right, we got to get moving. By the way, you guys see Conor McGregor hitting that boxing ball. All these guys are hitting it at dick level. Meanwhile, when I hit the box.
Meanwhile, that is Dr. Phil's. Meanwhile, that is Dr. Phil's dick level. English.
Yeah, Dr. Phil, Conor
He's
McGregor.
3 feet 8 inches tall, guys. Don't get confused. He lives in a hobbit
you see
home.
the video? They hit the thing 18 times, and they're like, yeah, new record. It's like, bro, I stopped counting after 250 fucking times.
Luke, they have a way harder
Find
time.
a tennis ball. You could put a baseball on mine. You could put a cue ball on mine. I will fucking knock it off the fucking rope every time.
Luke. You have two advantages, okay?
Bangkok ready.
You have two advantages. As kids, we always had the ball that we could throw back into our hand on the string.
I practiced. I sucked as bad as they did when
Hey, dum. You remember the string that was attached to your wrist? You throw and the ball would come back. You're used to that mechanism popping back right into you.
No lie.
And Luke.
Back elbow. I hit
Luke. Dr. Phil's
I hit the knees. I hit the kicks. I can do whatever I want to that boxing ball. I'm like
Dr. Phil's knees are at your head is at Dr. Phil's navel. Okay, so yes, that's why he's punching downward, because he doesn't have to. He has to fight a lot more gravity than you do, my brother.
If you're my secret Santa, I want the boxing bowl and the one that goes on the TV and the one that tracks your hits on the TV. That's what I want.
I'm not your secret Santa, but if I were to get you anything, it would not be that. And I wouldn't do it.
And I want a Jackson chain. I want what's the guy's name? Bear DiGilio. I want a Bear DiGilio.
I got something better for you. If I were your secret Santa.
Main event time. I mean, I really just want that book, that magic book. Or a Bear. I mean, listen, the boxing ball, the book, or the Bear DiGilio chain. That's what I want. Anyway,
do you want the same chain that? Do you want me to give you the chain you got me back?
No.
I could do that. That would kill two birds with one stone.
I want a Jesus piece and not the crucifix. I want his fucking head. Sorry, Jesus. I didn't mean to say fucking head. That is a little bit sacrilegious. But I don't want my Christ on the cross going out like a criminal. I want my cross proud. I want my Jesus proud, smiling,
like my Jesus. You know my Jesus. Profile picture on my personal Instagram. That's my Jesus.
I want my Jesus to be smiling, happy, giving peace signs, 2 thumbs up, holding a fucking deck of
guy
cards.
from Dogma.
Buddy Jesus.
From Dogma, right? That's from Dogma?
I think so. All right. Main event time, everybody. Thank you for joining the show. As always, it's been a pleasure. We love chopping it up with you guys. What did we do today? We told Anthony Smith he's a punk ass bitch because he is. We told Chris Weidman he's an eye poking son of a gun because he is. We told Michael Chiesa he's unlikable. We said that in a 2 years ago I'd beat Chase Super's ass pillar to post. I beat his ass red. Not anymore. We told you lots of things on this card. But most importantly, the number one thing you should take away is that Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to beat the fuck out of Ian Garry. The line's getting a little bit into unbettable territory. Get ahead of it now. He's a parlay pillar. He's going to win by finish. And that's my lock of the card. Other than that, I don't really know what's going to happen this night. I'm going to be at the casino. I'm going to be having fun with my boys, with my brothers. And the main event, I think, is
I'm going to be playing a fuck ton of blackjack. And if I'm not doing well in blackjack, I'm not putting a single bet.
I hope so. We're going to be playing a ton of blackjack. But anyway, I need somebody to stake me. Stake.com. All right, so let's just hope Pi hits the main net by then. Let's just hope Pi hits the main net, then we'll have a lot of bankroll.
If you want to stake us, get on the Patreon.
Stake us for the weekend, boys. We need a little bit of scratch. But for now, we got the Cannibal Alexandre Pantoja. That's how Sean Brady would say it. Alexandre Pantoja. First, this dude's a cannibal. There's Kai Asakura. I'm fucking going with Pantoja here. I see him beating the fuck out of this guy. This guy's a fucking UFC newcomer. His last fight was against Juan Archuleta. He hasn't fought in 10 months. Coming into the UFC at a Ryzen against one of our best. American top team versus Japan top team. Fuck this dude. I'm not fucking buying into the hype. The Pantoja boy, the cannibal, is going to eat this man. He's going to take him down at will, get him to the fucking ground, smother him, cover him like Waffle House hash browns. I'm going with Alexandre Pantoja all day, all night, twice on Sunday.
I'm going to go with Pantoja as well. New guy coming in, give him a title shot, not because it's like, oh, this unworldly athlete here who's just been killing it. It's like, no, it's because it's at 125. There's no one else. There's no name. Well, I mean, he's a name outside of the UFC, but no name as far as the UFC is concerned. I think Pantoja, true champion, will get it done. Is this his first defense? No, second defense.
No. But this guy got knocked out by Manel Cap. Manel Cap's a beast, but fuck this guy. He's fought nobody. He's not even in one. He's in Risen. Who cares? This guy's not coming in.
He got knocked out by Manel Cap. I thought he beat Manel Cap.
By decision, split decision. And then they rematched and Manel Cap finished him in round 2.
I do have to run though, boys. I have to do something real quick, but that's for me. That's all my picks. I love you.
Can you run your picks down real quick? Can you run them down at the bottom? Can you run them down?
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
We got. Hold on, pulling it up.
I'm low key
from
faded.
The bottom is Kennedy Njoku, Chase Hooper, Michael Chiesa, Cody Durdan, Chris Weidman, Bryan Battle, Evloev, Gorimbo, Reyes, Choi, Mitchell, Gane, Shavkat, and Pantoja. Love you all. Peace.
I love you, Dan. I love you, Danny. All right. So I got to use logic here. I feel like 5 out of the last 7 cards, I kind of came down to the main event, all my parlays, and I had the dog on those cards, and the dog ended up losing. So there's not really much of a route to, hedge at the point that you need to. So I'm going to go with Pantoja out of responsibility. I would love to go Asakura. It is a sexy pick. It's a fun pick. But I've been having a really bad read on the main event as of late. So I'm going to give myself the best option to win, and I'm going to take the favorite. And although I do love Asakura, and I have been watching him since he was in Ryzen, I've seen some of his Ryzen fights. I think he's really good. I think he's going to come in a lot bigger than Pantoja. I think he has a really good chance to win this. I'm going to finish a lot of my parlays with Pantoja just because, even coming off of this past weekend where I lost with, Figgy, and the line was super in Jan's favor, and rightfully so. He ended up winning that fight pretty hand over fist. But over the past few weeks, I've been feeling like I've been Stipe. Could have finished with John. Some of my parlays would have won. So this week I'm gonna go with the favorite just by principle, and it will give me an opportunity to fade if I need to. And I don't necessarily think. I don't know. I'm going to do it regardless this week, guys. I hate to break it to us. I'm not leaving my balls on the table again. I can't do that responsibly. I'm running broke over here. So I'm taking the favorite to end all my parlays, and I'm going to bet on Asakura regardless.
All right. We love it. Thank you very much. Let's run through our full picks, top to bottom, bottom to top. Starting the night off, I'm going with Lucas Brzeski, then Chase Hooper, Michael Chiesa, Cody Durdan, Eryk Anders, Randy Brown, Movsar Evloev, Thema Gorimbo, Dominick Reyes, Nate Landwehr, Bryce Mitchell, Alexandre Volkov, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and Alexandre Pantoja.
Pantoja, Rakhmonov, Volkov, Mitchell, Landwehr, Reyes, Gorimbo, Sterling, Battle, Anders, Van, Chiesa, Hooper, and then Chukwi.
And the Trophy certified picks: Chase Hooper, Michael Chiesa, Thema Gorimbo, Dominick Reyes, Bryce Mitchell, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and Alexandre Pantoja. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Trophy certified picks for you this week. I think we went 4 out of 7 last week. 1, 2, 3.
One of them shouldn't have been, though. I had Muslim Salikov.
Yeah.
You guys convinced me.
That is true. Should have went 4 out of 6. With only 2 that we would have gotten wrong would have been the fucking no thinking, no fucking thought put into it. And here's what I'm doing, guys. From here on out, no more betting on female fights. Luckily, there's no more female fights on this entire card. No more trophy certifying female fights. No more betting on female fights. No more betting on female fights. No more betting on female fights.
But that 9 fight, what is a good female fight? I think we should only bet on female fights in the top 15, or if it's like something that somebody feels super strongly about, like a Jillian.
I felt super strongly about Tabitha Ricci.
Yeah, but you're a dumbass, and I told you that was a dumb pick.
I feel a lot of things about Tabitha Ricci. All right. We love you guys. Thanks for joining the show. 2.5 hours in here for you. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy this podcast on the break week. We got PFL this weekend. Like we said before, the Patreon is back up and running. If you could get in there and become a year member for the Patreon, I will see to it that you don't regret that. And you'll get our open bet sheet. And I'm in a must-win situation. I got to refuse to lose. And I got to.
So the open bet sheet's back up.
Back up and running.
So you get Bobby's picks.
I'm going to send out a brand new link in this week's post for the open bet sheet. Alex, you'll get the link, and you better make it nice and pretty. I want amounts that you're betting for how much you're winning. I want it neat. I want it clean. Just copy and paste mine. Put some images in there. Make it fun for the people. I don't want it sloppy. No sloppiness.
I don't think how much I win should matter, because
I think it should fucking matter.
No, because the line changes.
Because then they can pick a la carte style. Like, ooh, I like this one.
Listen, Luke,
not that much.
A tastemaker like myself, I'm like a.
You're just lazy.
I'm like a Matty Betts, I'm like.
The people are not only watching it to tail or fade, they're also watching it to live vicariously through you and see what your bet slip says. So you put in. That way they can do it themselves. And if their line is off and it's not the same as yours, they can make that decision. But they got to see what you bet for how much you stand to win. They got to live vicariously through you and watch along with you and bet along with you. And you got to get them in there earlier. And you got to make it.
I always put how much I bet. I just don't put the winning out there.
Put it in there. It's not that hard. It's a one-step process.
I just don't want to give people false beliefs in what will happen.
That's why I put odds subject to change, entertainment purposes only, not financial advice on mine.
That's not on mine.
Well, put it on yours. Copy and paste my template.
I don't believe in such things.
Doesn't matter what you believe.
That's why I don't give odds. I see, Luke, you stole my line many years ago. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's going to happen. And that's why I don't put what the reward will be.
I love the balls on my mouth.
Listen,
I let you know what I'm putting on the table. I let you know how many of my balls I'm putting on the table, and that's all that matters.
Do what I say. All right.
If you can communicate this product, you can make money off the product.
All right. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And enjoy this weekend. There's PFL this weekend. If you get a little bit of an itch, there's football this weekend. There's Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family. Take a minute. Take a reprieve. Meditate on it. And we're going to come back stronger.
Am I going to see you on Thanksgiving?
Yeah. We'll see you on Thanksgiving.
Beautiful.
All right. We love you, everybody. Thank you.